Hello, hello, welcome on in. My name is Jenna. I'm a psychic medium, intuitive tarot reader, and divine channeler. So we're going to be doing some paid and collective readings today. All of the paid readings start at $10, so those are mini readings. If you want more information, click the link in my bio. There's also a pinned video with all the price breakdowns and services that I offer. So we're going to start with some collective readings for tarot. I am going to do some channeled messages as well. So I channel as I read the tarot. I also channel outside of doing the tarot. So if you happen to come on in the middle, you'll see what we're talking about here. All right, let's see what's going on. It's what day? Thursday? I think it's Thursday. I never know what day it is. I'm always like, goofed up on my days of the week, it seems like, but we'll get through it. All right, let's see what's happening for you guys in the collective. We have a bunch of twin flame readings up on the channel that are recent within the last couple of days. So if you're part of the twin flame journey, check that out. Welcome to anyone who's joining us. We're doing some mini readings, full readings, but those ones are all paid, and then collective spreads for anybody who's joining us. So if you want to purchase a personal, they start at $10 for a mini reading of your choice. What do we need to see for the collective? We do have the world. Thought, yes, okay. I feel like we're about to have like some big breakthroughs because we have our next new moon on the 16th, I want to say it is. And that would be Saturday. So we're going to see some things really change. It's in the sign of Taurus. We're still currently in Taurus season. So according to all the astrologers that I watch, they're saying that this is going to be kind of like really changing things for your routines and your schedules. Taurus is kind of a stubborn sign, so it doesn't always like change unless it's their idea. So make it your idea for these things to change. It can also be affecting things in your world about like habits and routines. So let's say something in your daily routine is draining you. This is going to illuminate what that is so you can like kick a bad habit is what Spirit's telling me. So there could be some major upheaval or changes, but it ends up working out for the better, as is what I'm understanding with all of this stuff. So be willing to let go of things, people, or situations in your life that you don't want to continue the energy. It's definitely something that's trying to move its way out. Some of us have been really burnt out and exhausted, myself included. So Spirit advises that we take some downtime, we rest if needed. Maybe it's an earlier bedtime, maybe it's a better sleep routine, things like that. But this is leading to burnout if we don't do that. So you've been through a lot of battles, right? Last year was really a shit show. This year's not a whole lot better so far. It's been a little bit of kind of like what they're showing me is dominoes falling. That's so weird. So I feel like there's been like one thing after another, and I can honestly say in my world it's been kind of that way too, right? And so what Spirit is showing me with that is that as each one of the dominoes starts to like fall, all of a sudden it's like, okay, what do we want to keep out of this, right? They're showing me what looks like a tower of cards and almost like a game of Jenga, right? So you pull out a block and you hope that the tower doesn't come crashing down. And you have to pull out as many of these little pieces as you possibly can without things collapsing. And what Spirit's telling me with this is that as a result of removing all of these little pieces that really aren't necessary, they aren't needed, you're going to see exactly what's left, right? So you can add new things into those places where the things you've removed or were removed, there's now room for new opportunities, new things to come in that you do want or that you do need. And so Spirit's trying to slowly but surely like get the whole line of dominoes to come crashing down so we can start with a clean slate. We're in the year of the fire horse, so a lot of things will happen quickly. There's going to be a lot of momentous energy, especially towards the end of May. That's what they tell me is towards the end of May, which is just a few weeks away. As we kick off June, we're going to start to see a lot of things really accelerate. I will tell you that I feel like time is just whizzing by in my world. It's like yesterday, for an example, I looked at my clock and it was like 4:44. I was like, sweet, saw that. That's cool. Angel numbers. And then the next time I looked at the clock, it was 9 o'clock. And I thought, where in the world did the last few hours go? Like literally hours, it feels like, are gone in the blink of an eye. So we're accelerating to the 5D, we're accelerating timelines, we're accelerating this shift, and so we're going to start to see a lot of things change quickly. So that means that our body is trying to keep up with this acceleration. So we're being activated. When we're being activated, our gifts and our spiritual abilities are amping up, which means we can be extremely exhausted. I have been here lately. So if you're really tired, make rest a priority, okay? Super, super important. That's what Spirit's trying to tell you. If you're tired, you need time out. You need to rest. That's non-negotiable at this point. We're closing difficult cycles. We're headed in a new direction, okay? We want to go to the 5D New Earth reality. We want to be in that Christ consciousness energy. That's where things really do improve. They get a whole lot better. We don't want to be left behind in the 3D reality. So working on yourself and eliminating obstacles in your world is kind of how we're going to get there. Hi, and welcome to everybody who's joining us. We do have judgment. Interesting. I feel like Spirit is... what they're showing me is somebody with like a notebook and a pad of paper. They're like pushing up their glasses and they're writing things down. I do feel like karma, no pun intended, I feel like karma is keeping score of all of the rights and wrongs, right? And so the spiritual realm might see things that you don't see, hear conversations that you don't hear. And as a result, they might be pulling a piece out of that Jenga board so that they can put something better in its place. And what's funny is I had a channeled message at like 3 o'clock in the morning the other night, about 2 nights ago. And what Spirit was showing me is that there's a lot of holes in people's stories right now. And so if they've been deceptive or if they've manipulated, all of that is going to be illuminated under Saturday's new moon. And so it's like this refreshing energy starts to kind of come in waves. And what Spirit's telling me is that these waves can like be destructive. They can clean house. They can get rid of things, or they can actually fill holes in and make things better. And it's a matter of perspective. So if there's things that need to leave your life, allow it to leave. Hold the door open, kick its butt out the door, okay? You want those things gone. They need to leave your life so that the more positive changes can come in. You've got to make space for it. If you're unwilling to change, Spirit might give you a tower moment. They might send in the troops, so to speak, and help you alleviate what's holding you back and keeping you stuck. You might be experiencing physical symptoms in your body of ascension, so flu-like symptoms. You could be experiencing things like muscle aches, tension, with no physical cause, right? You didn't lift something heavy, you didn't injure yourself in some way, and you have these weird aches and pains. You could be feeling a lot of things in your throat, especially as your throat chakra kind of amplifies. I feel like that's a big one. I've been experiencing that recently, but it can be any of your chakras that might need adjustments or recalibration. And so Spirit might make you feel a little uncomfortable in some of these places for a short time in order to alleviate all of the junk that could be collectively stuck in these areas, because we need to be flowing. We need to be in alignment. So the energy needs to flow. And if it can't flow, it's got to purge it out. Some of you are headed towards advancements in your career. You might be leaving a job to start your own company. You might be somebody who is an entrepreneur, has like really great business ideas, somebody that really, what's the right word for that? Somebody that really can face challenges head on, overcome those, and come out smelling like roses. So I feel like whoever this person is somebody that's determined to be successful, even if it takes a while. They're building something that they want to last. But we first have to walk away from the things that aren't good for us. There's going to be some challenges over the weekend, I feel like, especially emotionally or in relationships. I feel like for some of us, there's going to be this need to really like break free, is the words I'm being given, from people or situations that we know just are no good for us. There could be somebody that's spying on you, or people that are really curious about what you're doing, who you're doing it with, and what you've been up to. I feel like for some of you, you have put like all your notifications on silent or do not disturb, and you're like, no, I'm going to do me. But people haven't seen you recently. And so I feel like there's a lot of curiosity of, oh, well, I wonder what they're up to. They're about to find out. Spirit's about to show these people exactly what's going on. All right, Spirit, what do we need to see for the rest of May? What's the energy for the rest of May? Yeah, the deception's going to be illuminated. It's going to be found out. I do think that for some of you, you've faced a lot of really, really difficult battles over the last 5 to 6 years. Okay, we've overcome a lot collectively as a whole. Spirit's saying as a team, love that. As a team, right? We're all human beings on this planet. And so we're not dealing with NPCs is what they're telling me. I love my spirit team. They always have jokes. So we're not dealing with people that are part of the matrix. We're dealing with people that are part of the spiritual body at this point. All the NPCs are going to be found out, right? They're like bots in your world. And so what Spirit's telling me with that is that you're going to move past where they are and they aren't going to be able to reach you. So they're giving me the word untouchable, especially if you've really been focusing on yourself and working really hard. So there's the forward progress and the forward movement with the Chariot, right? We're going past where we've ever been before. We're accelerating the process, and Chariots move really, really fast. So I do feel like things accelerate. They pick up the pace, and things already feel like they're really fast. It's going to get even faster. We have to get on this trajectory. They're telling me, hurry up and get on the boat before you miss it, right? It's leaving port. It's going out to deep sea. And so I do feel like there is this push and pull of what you want to go towards and what you want to leave behind. Some of you are traveling, moving, or relocating by the end of summer. They're telling me by the end of August, some of you are actually picking up whatever you've got, whatever you want to take with you, and you're moving. Could be due to work, new jobs. It could also be that where you're at isn't working for you. You're a big fish in a small pond and you've got to go towards something bigger, right? You've already exhausted all of the options that are currently around you. There's no fulfillment. Things are very just boring. It's like there's nothing exciting going on. It's time to move. It's time to explore new things, go to new places, see new things, meet new people, and experience different things in life. And so a lot of us are going to be kind of shifting things around. If you love where you are, then that part doesn't apply for you, but you still might be traveling, even if it's small little trips someplace, because your energy needs to be activated in different places. Your energy will also affect the people around you, and their energy will affect you, positive or negative. So I do feel like there's going to be a lot of movement. What they show me is little chest pieces being wiggled around a board. And so there's going to be a lot of moves made and a lot of strategy used in order to connect the right people in order for you to be where you need to be. So it's almost like Spirit's going to pick you up and put you exactly where you're supposed to be. Love that. Okay. Remember that it's really important that we nurture the things that we want to see grow. So you might be nurturing children, you might need to nurture yourself, a connection, a job, whatever it happens to be. I feel like you also need to be really cautious that you are listening to your intuition, your instincts, your internal GPS, as I like to call it. Why? It's critical at this point. If you're ignoring your intuition, you're going to miss opportunities. Just remember that anything that's truly meant for you will never pass you by. It'll simply find you. It will magnetize to you when you match the vibration. It's exactly how manifesting actually works. What else? All right. You could have somebody that's in a leadership position that reaches out to you. They're giving me the word collaboration. They're also saying it's a tall order. Somebody might be extremely tall as well. What I pick up with this card as well is that there's some really influential people that are movers and shakers. And these people almost like a headhunter or a talent scout. People might be researching you. There could be private investigators that are looking you up. I feel like somebody might reach out through, social media, direct message, email, whatever, websites, in order to try and communicate with you. But I feel like it's not them directly. It's somebody that works for them that's going to reach out, like an assistant that sees something that you're doing and wants to propose some sort of collaboration or teamwork, business venture, idea. And they've seen you somehow. They've seen what you do in some way, shape, or form. And so what's happening is this person is coming forward with a direct communication or a direct offer in order for you to team up and do some sort of project. Very interesting. All right, let's see. What else do we have going on for the month of May? Please, Spirit, what's the energy for May? Ooh, love that. Okay, so we do have the chance for balance to come in. And I really feel like this is a needed aspect in the community, in the collective at this time, right? We need more balance. Things are very imbalanced at the current time. Financially, things are all over the place. The safety net, is the word Spirit's giving me, is kind of like, we're unsure if it's there. What they show me is it looks like a tightrope walker at a circus, and there's no safety net underneath. So if they fall, it's a bad thing, right? Like they probably wouldn't survive the fall. But what they're showing me is they're showing me what looks like a spider web. So what I'm seeing is that your safety net is being woven. Love that. Your safety net is being woven in the dark. You can't see that it's happening, but it's there. It's like this invisible protection or invisible safety net that Spirit's creating for us. So what's happening is they're going to move us out of conflict and chaos, right? That's why we need to hit the 5D energy. They're going to take us out of conflict and chaos, which is 3D reality. They're going to shift us into the 5D energy. What's also happening is that people that need to be at your level, at your frequency, are going to magnetize to where the two of you actually interact. It's going to be more than two of you, but what they're showing me is that like magnets, you guys will just gravitate towards each other's energetic pull. There's some sort of magnetism that's also bringing you guys together. I do feel like for some of you, there's a reconciliation that's possible as well. So if you've been on the outs with somebody, there is the potential that like you guys finally match frequency to be able to communicate. Again, love that. Some of you, it's love related. Others of you, it's friendship or business, things like that. But there is this really tempting offer that I see coming in. So for some of you, this could be somebody that you have history with. It could also be somebody that you feel like betrayed you, or there's just a lot of like maybe positive energy that's trying to come in and place the negativity is what they're giving me. So if you've been on the outs with somebody, there's been a falling out, there's been some sort of faux pas. There's been something that hasn't been quite right. You think there's like nefarious shit going on. Spirit's going to illuminate the truth, whatever that happens to be, good or bad. So just take the truth for what it is and kind of, digest that as much as you need to. I do feel like Spirit really does want somebody in the collective to make a stride to go in a different direction, away from anything that's negative, that's a temptation. If it's positive and it's a temptation, then I feel like Spirit's going to open doors for you to actually go forward. See, there's the truth and the clarity. So Spirit's going to illuminate what needs to change in your world by the end of the month. There's going to be some sort of like light bulb moment, epiphany. There could be some inventions that are happening as well. Lots of creativity. And I feel like it just starts to kind of come in really, really quick. What they're showing me is like waves on the ocean, giant waves, like really, really tall waves. And they just come in one after another, just over and over and over again. It's like they're washing away all of the stuff that we don't want to be a part of, so that we have a clean slate and there's something better coming in. So trust your instincts, intuition. There's so much hidden wisdom and knowledge that you can tap into. Pray, ground, meditate, clear your energy, dance, movement, all of those things. They're going to help shift the energy around you. If you've been in like a funk recently, you're not alone. It's part of the shift that's happening right now. I've been extremely lazy. I haven't wanted to do anything lately, haven't wanted to create, haven't wanted to like start my garden, all these things. And within the last few days, that energy is shifting and I'm finally starting to feel like myself again. So there's a lot of us that are kind of in this, I just don't want to do anything. I feel tired. I don't want to get up. I don't want to eat. I don't want to, like, all that stuff. That's ascension. We're feeling it. We're feeling it really, really hard right now. The Schumann's been absolutely insane the last couple of weeks. and it's been tons and tons of high vibrational bright white light that's coming through. We feel that we're impacted every time the Earth's frequency elevates or lowers in some capacity. So Spirit's telling me with the High Priestess card that you really need to get strong on boundaries. You need to trust your intuition always. How do you tell the difference between ego and intuition? Your intuition is going to sound like a voice of reason. It's usually positive. However, it's not what you want to hear. It's what you need to hear. It's going to sound like, somebody who gives a crap about you, okay? And they're going to be like, you should do this. It's good for you. We want to see you succeed versus you're never going to be successful. You're a failure, yada, yada. That's ego, okay? That's how you know the difference. Ego comes with hesitation and confusion, and your intuition will come sounding like a positive step in the right direction. One final card for the rest of May, please, Spirit. What do we need to see? What do we need to know? There it is. Okay, 6 of Swords. You guys are moving. Like somebody in the collective is moving. There's too much conflict, too much chaos. They're showing me a rabbit energetically. So this is going to be a huge leap. It comes in really quickly. Some of you might abruptly decide, I'm out. I'm going to move. I don't care. I'm packing my stuff. I'm done. I'm going. I'm leaving this place. Too much conflict, too much chaos. It's time for an energetic reset. And this is also an indication that we head towards calmer waters so we can find our peace and serenity and rebuild from all of the crazy energy that's been going on. All right, we're going to pull a couple of charms. I love this AI summary. That's kind of cool. That's the first time I've noticed that on the screen. All right. Yes. Okay. So we have the sun. So we've got some fresh starts and new beginnings that are coming in for the collective. We have an angel. Ask your spirit team, your guides, your angels, your guardians, whatever you call them. Ask them to come assist you with anything that you're struggling with right now. They like to help. All right. We have an axe. I feel like for some of you, it's almost like you're cutting out things that maybe you should have a long time ago. What they're showing me is like somebody chopping down a giant tree with an axe. It might take a while, okay? It really might take a while, but it will be worth it, okay? Because we're going to sever ties with anything that shouldn't be in our lives going forward. I feel like especially this weekend, we're going to start to see a lot of things really change and transform. Somebody might have some really shocking epiphanies this week and like, oh my God, how did I not realize that before? Well, Spirit's like, hey, you got the next 5 months and we're going to help you clean house. We're going to get rid of all this energetic garbage, okay? We have the moon with a baby in it. There could be some pregnancy announcements. I feel like somebody might be really shocked that someone's pregnant. I won't apply for everybody. The moon is all about illusions, right? Illuminating or revealing things that we need to leave behind. Ironically, look at this card. We have the moon and he's doing what? Walking away from all of these things. Okay, so it's this weekend, we're going to start to see some of these things that need to change in our life. Spirit's about to show you. They also want you to know that it's you versus you. There isn't any competition. It's all in our minds, right? So we have to realize that it's in our heads and we need to ask Spirit for guidance. So however you happen to connect. For me, I connect better through nature. So those are some things that, sorry, I didn't turn my ringer off before I jumped on the live. Let's see. So I feel like there's a lot of us that connect more to God, Source, Spirit, Creator, Universe, whatever title you want to give that higher power through nature. That's me personally. I connect through nature. I love just being out in sunshine and fresh air, listening to the birds chirp, watching the bees work, all of that stuff. So however you best connect or communicate to God, Source, Spirit, Creator, Universe, do that. That's really important at this time. They're going to reward all of the hard work, but you have to be willing to do the work before you get the reward. Okay. We are completing something. There could be unions coming in as well. I don't really see a lot of that other than we have the lovers here. So someone might have to make a decision about love, marriage, and commitment, partnership, whether they, want it or they don't. It's totally a different choice. We have 2 keys here. They do look very different. I can hold these here. So we have this one. So I do think Spirit's going to kind of unlock some things for you that have maybe been stuck. For some of you, it might be in love and relationships, right? Maybe you've been single for a long time. Maybe you're in a dead-end relationship, whatever. So love is definitely something that I feel like there could be new romance unlocked. I also feel like you're getting keys to either a new home, a new vehicle, or both. It might be both. We have 2 keys here. So it comes in quickly. If you've been contemplating a move, I feel like Spirit's going to illuminate exactly where you go, right? I've been thinking about, I would love to live in a different place, but where? Where would I actually go? So Spirit might be showing you exactly where you need to be. So pay attention to that. We do have an angel playing what looks like a cello. I love these charms. So Spirit might pull at your heartstrings this weekend. I also feel like the reason that that's happening is to show you like what's good for you and what's not good for you. So Spirit might be showing that to you as well. They want you to believe in love. This little coin says believe in love. Apologies, these aren't super clear on here. So starts with loving yourself first, unconditional. Years ago, I used to think that that was just crazy. It's like, how could you love everything about yourself? The more work I've done internally on myself, the more I love who I actually am as a human being. So if you're working on yourself, Spirit wants you to know that because you love who you are at your core, unconditionally, faults and all, right? That's what we're supposed to do. That they're going to bring in somebody who's also been in that self-love bubble, and that this person will actually be very beneficial to your energy. They're going to help you continue to grow on your journey, and they learned to love themselves unconditionally, so in return they could love another unconditionally. I love that. Okay, so we are welcoming in some stability after this change. Lots and lots of stability is coming in. Love to see that. I was channeling a rabbit. We have a rabbit in a frame. You might look totally different by the time this is all said and done. Okay, Spirit's giving you guys a lot of energetic upgrades in the collective, and so these come in fast. Things are changing at a very rapid pace, and you might be unrecognizable once everything's all said and done. It's kind of how it's supposed to be. We do have a Christmas ornament, so by the end of the year, things look completely different than how they used to, and we have a lotus. Lotus are really an interesting flower. So they grow in deep, dark, murky water. They rise to the surface and they bloom in spite of where they come from, in spite of their circumstances. So their beauty is unmatched by their surroundings, is what Spirit's telling me. So no matter where you come from, what you overcame, you're going to grow and bloom in spite of your circumstances, and your beauty will be unmatched. Love that. Okay. So that is our first collective reading. If you guys would like to purchase a mini reading or a full reading today, those are all available. The link in my bio is how you purchase one. Readings start at $10, tarot charms or mediumship. Mediumship is where I channel. That's what I was doing while I was doing all this stuff. Charms are exactly that, all the little charms. I have a whole basket full of those. We shuffle them, whatever comes out as your reading. And then tarot. So 5 cards for a mini reading. A full reading is more like 12 to 20. It depends on if I need clarifiers. We pull out whatever we need to pull out. For the full reading, mini reading is only 5. So the reading can be anything of your choice out of those 3. If you want like a love reading for tarot, you could do that. If you want, you know, career reading, general reading, shadow work, spiritual guidance, all that stuff, I have all of those different readings. Get some good shuffles here. I do feel like we're about to take some big leaps financially. So some of us might be furthering our education somewhere. Could also be that you're a lifelong learner. You're learning a lot of new things, or Spirit's trying to take you in a totally different direction. They do want you to start planning or setting some goals for your future in order to actually know what you need to do next to achieve those. Very interesting. All right, let me get caught up with you guys. Apologies. I didn't realize there was actually going to be people watching today, so that's always a plus. Okay, let's see. So welcome everybody. Apologies if I missed your comment when I'm channeling. I'm not looking at the screen while I'm reading. I check it in between. So anybody that wants a personal today, all the personals are paid readings. They start at $10. The link in the bio is how you purchase one of those. Let's see. What does that say? So yes, I was starting with collective readings. And then anybody who wants to do personal, I need you guys to purchase those. They start at $10. Just making sure I caught up with everybody. Avoidant, blindsided, breakup. You know, we've had a lot of the avoidance. They've actually been kind of forced to see what they're avoiding. I've been an avoidant for a long time in my life for certain things, not for everything. Like some things I'm really good at, I focus on, I get it hammered out, whatever. And then there's other parts of my life that it's like, yeah, no, I don't want to look at that. Yeah, no, that's not something I want to do right now. And so Spirit's kind of putting all of us avoidance to like face ourselves in the mirror of all the things that we're running from. Why is that important? Well, if you don't acknowledge it, you can't fix it. And if you can't fix it, it's never going to improve. So you have to first acknowledge what the issue is. Part of that being that you're avoiding a problem, right? Acknowledge it, address it, and come up with a plan of action to fix it. And so some of those things in my own world are things that I used to think were out of my control, and now I realize that they're not. I do have the power to change some of these things. I just have to put the effort in to do it. So, you know, us tarot readers, we're human too. We go through these same ascension symptoms like the rest of the collective does. That's why we're able to channel some of the information that's happening, because we're also experiencing it. So that's something that we definitely feel right alongside you guys. All right, we're going to do some love readings for the collective. Let's see what's going on. What is the energy around love for singles? We're going to do singles first. Singles, what do they need to know about love for the rest of May? There's one. Might have a happy dream coming in, some sort of wish fulfillment if you deal with your burnout. Preaching to the choir, Spirit, knock it off. Okay. So I do feel like some of you have been maybe burdened or overwhelmed just by life. Maybe it's a relationship. Maybe some of you want to be single if you've been in a long-term relationship or a marriage that drained you. I feel like for others of you, it would be nice to have like a legitimate partnership where somebody helped share the load. Yeah, exactly. Something that's balanced. Something that is fulfilling, where you feel like you belong, where things are an improvement, not a detriment. Okay, so there could be, and I say could because it won't apply for everybody. All right, so there could be some sort of wish fulfillment that happens in the love department. Maybe you're perfect person and nobody's actually perfect, but your perfect fit for you comes in after you've reached a point of burnout, right? You have to deal with the burnout. You have to prioritize rest, okay? And you also have to let go of certain things in your world that are stretching you too thin. If you're overcommitted in areas where you don't have time to date or have a relationship, it's unlikely that Spirit's going to bring somebody in. You don't have the time or the space to commit to that. However, if you make that a priority, if you set aside some time that you can actually socialize, go out, meet people, things like that, then you're more likely to actually encounter somebody. Whoever this person is could lead to something that's solid and stable, could even potentially be marriage material going forward. So yes, I realize that's quite a leap from being single to being married. Happens all the time. We see it all over the place. So there is this hiccups for confirmation. There is this potential for a true partnership coming in for the collective that are single, happily married. The 10 of Cups is seen as your happily ever after, and it's been a long time coming, right? Some of you have been single for a very long time. You've had to wait a very long time. So motivate yourself to, do whatever you feel like you need to do to feel at your best, whether that's, updating your appearance, your clothing, getting out and socializing, just don't hold yourself back from actually enjoying life is what they're telling me. So if you've been doing that, Spirit's encouraging you to get out there and mingle. How else do you expect to meet people? It's unlikely they're just going to show up at your front door, right? You might need to actually leave the house. And if you're kind of a hermit, that might be a little bit harder. All right, let's see what we've got going on. Couples and couples in separation. Let's see what the energy is through the end of May. Couples and couples in separation. What do we need to know? What's the energy? Ooh, interesting. All right, somebody that you're separated from is having lots of memories or thoughts about you, lots of nostalgia. I feel like this person, there might have been a reason to do with like work, a job, traveling, duties and responsibilities is what I'm getting. Maybe work took up a lot of their time. Maybe they couldn't commit to anything because there was just too much on their plate. This person might be traveling, moving, or relocating to be closer to you if you've been in separation, because Spirit's trying to close the gap for somebody and bring in a reconciliation that's balanced. I do feel like this person and you have a lot to talk about, so they might come in really abruptly over this weekend. Very interesting. I feel like this person has a lot of passion for you. There could also be some feelings that haven't quite been expressed yet, but they're about to because they're hoping for a new beginning. So if you aren't currently attached to somebody, that could be changing. I do feel like this person wants a fresh start. I feel like they see you as a wish fulfillment. I also feel like this person wants something that's solid and stable, something that's balanced, not something like whatever happened in the past for either of you two. You could be moving, traveling, or relocating. You might be visiting this person or vice versa. Could be moving for work and you meet somebody that you hit it off with and have a lot of chemistry, however it happens to pertain. All right, let's see. Twin flames and soulmates. What's going on for you guys? Twin flames and soulmates energy from now until the end of May. What do we have? Ooh, yeah, new beginnings. This has been all over the energy in the love readings for several weeks now, is new beginnings, fresh starts, happiness. They're giving me the word overflow, right? Something that's really happy that your cup is full, right? You feel all of your needs are met, and those don't get met from other people. They get met from yourself first. So self-love and self-care is how you start the journey, okay? And then we transform to we have enough so we can give that to somebody else. It's always a choice. You're going to be faced with some sort of decision. I do feel like from now until the end of May, you might be facing a lot of opposition. There might be people who don't like this person in your life. Ask yourself why. Why? Why don't they like them? Why don't they think they're good enough for you? Is it jealousy? Is it ego? Or do they see something that maybe you don't see? You're going to have to remove any sort of blinders, rose-colored glasses, and see the truth for what it is and decide for yourself. Because ultimately, it's you and them. It's not the other people that are in the relationship. Judgments being passed, so karma being dealt, some sort of shift in perspective, change in mind, and Spirit tells me a change in frequency. Love that. So for the twin flames especially, a change in frequency could actually magnetize you two to come together, especially if you've been in a really long period of separation. An unexpected offer comes out of the blue. You know, Spirit's pulling the strings when judgment comes out, especially when judgment and temperance come out in a reading. So I feel like Spirit could really be kind of pulling you two into alignment. What they're telling me is it's... Love that. They're showing me two people in the water, and one of them's kind of like flailing their arms and struggling, and the other person throws them a life raft and like drags them or pulls them to safety. That's interesting. Okay. There could be some sort of competition, fights, clashing egos, butting heads. I feel like we have to find a peaceful resolution for love to actually come in. But I do think that somebody wants to come forward with an actual romantic offer. This person's had feelings for you for a long time. And if you're honest with yourself, you more than likely have as well. I definitely think if you're dealing with a twin flame and there's been no communication, that's probably coming in as well in the next couple of weeks. This person or you is really juggling a lot, right? So we have to eliminate some things to try and find the balance. You've got to make a choice. What do you want to keep? What do you want to let go? Because there's going to be something that's got to go. And we got to put in the work. Slow and steady wins the race here. This is not something that's going to be like an overnight thing and everything's fixed. Take a grounded, practical approach. Heal the things that are broken in order to actually come out of separation. Love it. Couldn't make this up if I tried. Eight of Wands, fast coming communication, 8 hours, 8 days. And we also have the Two of Cups. So this person wants to come out of hiding. They want to come out of separation, and they want to solidify things. They want a new beginning. 1 and the 2, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, something. There's a song playing in my head, but I'm not sure what exactly it is just yet. I think it's a Snoop Dogg song. I love my spirit team. Something about 1, 2, 3 into the 4. Snoop Doggy Dogg is knocking at your door. Is that the right lyrics? Something to that effect. So you might have an unexpected visitor popping up for you. Okay, moving to calmer waters, getting out of conflict, getting out of chaos, movement, forward progress, okay? Very important. And it's time to start planning or setting some goals for the future. Otherwise, how do you plan on achieving them? So if you're manifesting, Spirit wants you to know you need to do it from a positive frame of mind. Start telling yourself daily affirmations like, I expect the best possible outcome. Spirit, show me how good and how fast things can improve in my life. Show me the best possible scenario. And start telling yourself these things over and over again until you start to see things happen. I will tell you that in the last few weeks, things that I have recently thought of happen within minutes. That's how quick things are starting to manifest in my reality right now. So that might be happening for you as well. Maybe it's not minutes, maybe it's hours, maybe it's days, weeks, whatever. But we are accelerating the process, so keep your thoughts positive. Stop telling yourself negative things. Only receive the positivity, okay? Very important. All right, so twin flames and soulmates. I do think some of you are going to be coming into a new beginning with your person that you've been in separation from. Something that's balanced, something that's good and healthy, especially if both of you have really been working on yourselves. Let me get caught up with you guys here. Oh, why is my phone talking? That was really weird. All of a sudden out of nowhere. Aw, Tansy, good to see you, friend. Hope you're well. I never know who's going to jump on when we're live, so that's always a plus. All right, so we are doing personals today as well. If you guys want one, they start at $10. The link in my bio is how you purchase. I take Cash App or PayPal. I also have Zelle if that works. 10 to PayPal. Miss Jessica, what are we doing for you, hun? Tarot charms or mediumship? They're all available for the 10. Come on. My computer is like super slow today for whatever reason. It likes to do silly things. Let's see. Let's try and restart that. Maybe that will help. Tarot. Love it. Okay. Let me get my email back up here because I don't know why it always seems to want to be silly. Okay, we'll give that. There we go. Okay. So let's see. Anybody who's asking questions, we need you to be patient. I'm doing personals, but they're all paid readings today. They start at $10, and I don't check the screen while I'm in the middle of a reading, so just know that moving forward. Okay, Miss Jessica, right? It was Jessica? Yes, Jessica. Okay. Let's see what's going on for you. What is the energy for Jessica? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. Love that. All right. There's been a lot of things that are going to be changing in your world, and I think you're actually going to be pleasantly surprised. I don't know if you can see these or not. Probably not so great. That's all right. I'll hold them up for you. Okay. So the first thing I see is that you could be contemplating like a job change or a job move. This may or may not be on your radar just yet. So if you've been thinking like, I would really like to do something different, I'm tired of the same old rat race, I'm tired of the same old, I want to do something different, there is a new opportunity that's coming in for you. However, sometimes pentacles move really, really slow. So this could have been on the back burner for like months or years before it actually came in. What I also feel like with this is that this is a potential job change that creates movement for you. So you could be traveling for this position. You could be relocating someplace for this position. It's a better paying offer, okay? This moves you to greener pastures. Quite literally, that's what this card signifies. So it's a a step up in the world, not like a downgrade in any way, shape, or form. This is the most stable night in tarot, and so it takes a long time to get going, but once it's there, it's really actually worth your time. So really, really positive changes that are coming in for you. I feel like this is also an indication that if you've been thinking about a physical move like relocation, that this is a possibility for you coming in. Now, this could be something that you've manifested without even realizing it. You might have been thinking about this, and then all of a sudden your energy kind of pulled this offer in out of the ethers. The Magician tells us that we have literally all of the tools that we need in order to create the life that we want. Your thoughts become things. So stay positive until you see it happen in your 3D reality. What that means is that you have the ability to literally transform your life for the better or for the worse. You always want it to be for the better. So if you are constantly telling yourself, I'm going to get a better paying job, I'm going to move, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, but from a positive frame of mind, say it as if you already have it. It's already happened, okay? Like past tense. I already have the most money I could ever need in my life. I already have my dream house. I already have my dream job. I already have my dream life. Start telling yourself that, and it will start to actually happen. What happens is the energy around us is a direct reflection of what we're putting out there. So if you're putting out nothing but positivity, you're going to get hit with nothing but positivity. Doors just start to open for you. That's how you'll know you're in alignment. It becomes easy, okay? It's not an uphill battle every day. It's not a struggle every day for these things to come in. It's effortless. You know it's yours. Somewhere in another dimension, it exists already, or you wouldn't want those things. So allow spirit to come into alignment with what it is you want and bring these positive changes in. You could also be doing some shadow work. And if you are, that's an excellent thing. We should all be doing shadow work. It helps us become the best version of ourselves. So this is Virgo energy. We also have Aries energy with the Magician, and we have some earth and fire energy as well. So what I feel like with this card is that you might have kind of gone inward and reflected for some time about what needs to change in your world, right? We tend to do that sometimes, especially if we're kind of banging our head against a wall. I tend to do that a lot. So I feel like you could be really learning some things about yourself. Maybe you've crossed a bunch of hurdles, you've overcome a lot of things in the last couple of years. And more recently, in the last few months, I feel like the last 2 to 3 months, some things have really been changing for you in a big way. And as a result, Spirit rewards all of that hard work, okay? There could be a lot of emotions that come up when these opportunities come in for you. Just know that you did the work, and so that's going to help to pay off. There could be a lot of fierce competition for whatever this job actually is or this opportunity. Spirit says, don't worry about the competition. What's meant for you is simply going to come into your 3D reality. If it's meant for you, it's going to find you. It might circle the block till you're ready. It might be in a holding pattern. Once you come into that frequency, that alignment, all of a sudden the competition doesn't matter. It's like what they're showing me is an interview with 2 people, and I'm seeing like a waiting room full of people, and it's like you and whoever's doing the interview, it's like, oh, those other people just don't even exist anymore. It's like it never happened. So if you're the best candidate for whatever this is moving forward, Spirit's just going to put you at the top of the list, and the opportunity just flows in. That's all there is to it. You don't have to worry about it. So find the peaceful resolution, if at all possible, to any sort of conflict or butting heads and tension, okay? This leads to your happily ever after. I love the 10 of Cups. It's an indication that Spirit really does want us to be our most happy, most fulfilled timeline. Love, romance, partnership, a sense of belonging. This could be at a job as well, could be in a partnership, but it's like, what more could you want, right? A better paying job, a happy life, no conflict, and, the love of your life. It's like, it'd be a perfect scenario. So I really do feel like you've overcome a ton of hurdles. What they're showing me is like a hill, and I see somebody like jumping over this hill. They're telling me somebody could be celebrating a birthday that's like a big milestone. Like they're giving me the words an over the hill party. So you could be attending an over the hill party. That's funny. That's a side note. But what I'm seeing is that there's just a lot of happiness moving forward. There's a lot of togetherness, a sense of community, a sense of partnership. I get hiccups for confirmation. So there's just this outpouring of positivity that Spirit wants you to know. You've created this by all of your hard work. So you've paid your dues. Now you get to enjoy life. I love that for you. So sounds like a lot of really big positive improvements coming in for you, Jessica. I love that. All right. Any questions for me about your reading? I love that. The wow is always a good wow. I think I surprise people that I can give you so much detail with like 5 cards, right? I think it's like shocks people. It's like once I'm tapped in, the energy just flows. It's just there. That's why all the shadow work's so important for all of us too, because we've got to be, got to be able to read good. Just put in my 2 weeks notice last week after 7 years. It's been a long time, right? Exactly. So here's the thing. This new opportunity might take you by surprise. 10 of Cups at the bottom of the deck again. So I do feel like, put your intentions out there into the ethers. Under new moons is a great time to manifest, okay? Cassandra, it's a great time to manifest. So we have a new moon in the sign of Taurus on Saturday, okay? Saturday the 16th. So under a new moon is a great time to manifest, especially for new opportunities. It doesn't have to be a complicated process, okay? Light a candle, write down what you want on a piece of paper, fold it to you 3 times and burn it. That's all you got to do. Literally, that's all you got to do. Set it out there, put it out into the ethers, release any sort of, time when it has to happen or whatever. I mean, you can be specific on when you need to see this happen, but put it out there and allow Spirit to bring it to you. It's that simple. I can't tell you, I've lost count how many things I've actually manifested in my own world by doing something that simple. So new moons are great for manifesting to bring new things in, okay? New energy, new moon. Full moons are about releasing. So you want to release all of the things that are no longer serving you. You can also, under a new moon, release things and then also write a manifestation list of things you wish to bring in its place. So try it. See what happens, It's like, couldn't hurt. I am live. I haven't been going live over here very much at all, but that is changing. I've decided I'm tired of doing my delivery stuff all the time. I would much rather read for the collective or do live paid readings. And so I'm only going to be doing like super part-time, like 2 days a week, my little second job, because your girl is exhausted and I need some downtime. And I miss being on with all of my people. So you're going to see a lot of my face. You might get sick of me like, oh my God, she's on again. Hopefully not. But, Spirit keeps advising me. It's like, you've played hooky long enough. Let's get back to work. We've got stuff to do. So here we are. You've never seen me in a live? Oh, that's so funny. I love that. See, you just happen to luck out and see me at the right time. So ready for a happy life. You are so welcome. I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised by all of the things that change for the better coming in for you. I really do. I think you're going to be like shocked, but not dismayed. That's what Spirit's giving me. Shocked and awed. Like, what the heck? How did that happen? You manifested it. You're just going to be like, you thought about it, right? Spirit says, here you go. You did the work. Now you get a reward. It's like, you want a cookie? Here's your cookie. What do you want? What else do you want? You want to bring more stuff in? All right. Speak it into existence. Bring it into your 3D reality. It is possible. It is possible. I like, if I had to really stop and think of all the things that I've thought about recently that all of a sudden happened, you guys would be like, she's making it up. It's like, I'm going to start taking like screenshots of stuff so I can prove it. So the other night, it was like 3 o'clock in the morning. I've been really struggling to sleep lately. Really, really struggling to sleep lately. Like 3:30 in the morning before I'm able to fall asleep. tried everything I can think of to actually sleep earlier. It's not happening. I'm wide awake. I've even thought of doing live streams at 3 a.m. just to see who's on because I'm bored out of my mind. And Spirit's talking a ton to me in the middle of the night. So that's, of course, why I'm awake, is because Spirit's trying to, communicate and all that. Thank you guys for the gifts. Appreciate it. So that's another reason why Spirit's really trying to get us to rest more and connect more, because Spirit's trying to get us to activate what's within us. And all of us have spiritual gifts of some sort that we need to use. It's why we're here. We wouldn't have those if we weren't supposed to use those. So one of my spiritual gifts is being a medium, connecting the people who have passed on to the living, and I'm the go-between, I'm the channel in between. I hear Spirit all the time. Sometimes it's like random communication, sometimes it's music. One of my biggest clairs is the Spirit's telling me audio, and then they said hallucination. It's not hallucinations, but what I hear a lot tends to be music. And so that's one of the way that Spirit will connect me to other people, is through song lyrics. And so that's one of the frequencies or channels that comes through most often for me, has to do with music. They also come in visuals for me. So I see things in my mind's eye, and that happens all the time. So if I look like I'm just daydreaming, I'm actively channeling. And so I don't look at the camera when I do that. What's behind my screen, let me see if I can flip this and just show you, is just a window. And it looks at the sky. So let me see. How do I flip the screen? Flip camera. There we go. Let's try this. So I just stare at the blue sky outside my window, and that's what I do when I channel. Now I do it through flames and fires and stuff. So like if my candle's lit and I just stare at the flame in the candle, through a thing of water, if there's like a bowl of water, like I can scry through just about any sort of medium, and I just let my mind go blank, and then images or sounds, things come through. And so as a child, I guess I did this all the time. Like I remember as a little kid, I would daydream in class and stuff. I'd always get in trouble for that. Are you paying attention? Yeah, no, I hear you. I know what's going on. My brain's focused on other things. And so it's always on. That channel is always open, and I'm always receiving information. So regardless of what medium I use, whether it's tarot, whether it's charms, or whether it's me and Spirit collaborating together, there's always information that's coming through. So it doesn't matter what you choose to get a reading with, you're going to get the message that Spirit needs you to know, however it comes about. That's just how it works for me. And music is life for me too, Cass. It is something that I don't think I could live without music. And I mean that wholeheartedly. I don't think I could. I go to sleep, there's songs playing in my head. I wake up before I'm even alert, there's music playing in my head. It's like somebody took a quarter and dropped it in a jukebox and picked a random song and it's playing. If it's a song I haven't heard in a million years, I know it's channeled information. If it's a song I just heard yesterday, it's probably not. If the song won't go away and it's just playing certain words to me over and over again, it's usually a message. I try and make some sort of, message so that if it's for somebody else that they get the message, things like that. But I've been that way my whole life. I don't know what it would sound like to have a quiet mind, because my mind is never quiet. There's always some sort of chatter and Spirit's saying gossip going on in my mind. Sometimes it's gossip. Sometimes Spirit's spilling the tea on people. So just so people know, like, I'm not the type of person that I'm going to tap into your energy without permission. So when you go to book a reading with me and you interact with me and you give me that permission, you send your payment, all those things, that's the green light for Spirit to go, okay, we're about to verbal vomit all the shit they need to know. And that's how it works for me. I do it with integrity. I do it with permission. I never try and read for people that don't want it. So just want people to know that we're not mind readers, although that has happened on occasion, but we're not really mind readers. We just tap into the frequency. So it's like a radio, right? You turn it on, and if it's in between stations, it might be staticky and hard to understand. So you got to fine tune it. And once it's fine tuned, it's like, hell yeah, let's go get the party started. Let's rock and roll. That's how it works for me. So when I'm tapped into Spirit, I talk really, really fast. That's not how I normally talk in my everyday world. It's because my mind is trying to keep up with my mouth. A lot of times it doesn't happen. So I tend to talk really, really fast. So apologies for that, for anybody that's like, slow down. It's hard for me to do that because spirit comes through so quickly. I have to raise my vibration to meet the frequency to receive the messages and interpret them. So it's harder for me to slow that down because they go really fast and it's energy. So it's like I have to match that vibration to receive the signal. So if I talk really fast or I trip over my words, that's what's happening when I'm channeling. My thoughts are also not usually my own when I'm channeling. So like I'll stumble on things, I'll have to like disconnect from the channel for a second and gather myself sometimes. It doesn't happen so much anymore, but it did in the beginning. So a lot of us have the ability to do that, right? To channel information, to see things energetically, feel things energetically. There's like 5 clairs. It's like our 5 senses: seeing, hearing, feeling, knowing, all the things. I can't think of the other one off the top of my head right now. So sight, sound, energy, feeling all the stuff. I'm an empath, so I feel the energy as it goes through me too. So if I'm bringing forward somebody's loved one, what tends to happen is they might make me feel something in my body somewhere like they did when they were ill or before they passed away, things like that. So it gives me more concrete evidence to show somebody that their person is coming through. Now, there's a million ways somebody could pass away, right? So sometimes it's a real similar thing. There could be multiple spirits in the energy that I'm picking up that are like piggybacking, trying to come forward, trying to make their presence known. That happens a lot. Usually what happens when I'm reading one-on-one is that spirit will give me something that's so concrete, that's what I call a validation point, in order for you to know that it's absolutely your person that's trying to connect with you. Sometimes they bring forward like a past memory that they had with you specifically, and it's something that there's no way I would have known, right? That was between you two, that you had this connection, this memory of something that happened, and they're going to show it to me. They're going to give me some piece of information that it's like, how in the world would you have guessed that? I couldn't, and I don't try to. So I purposely do cold readings for people. I purposely do that. There's a reason behind it. Number one, there's a lot of people that are fakes and phonies out there in the world, right? And we've all seen those. We know that it's out there, lots of scammers and things like that. I don't want anybody to ever feel like I'm that person. So I try and do live streams so people can see what I'm like in real life. I try and post a lot of videos as well, but the live streams I like because I read for total strangers, people that I've usually never read for before. I also prefer to only get your first name and no background information whatsoever, especially during mediumship. Tarot's a little bit different if you have a specific question, but for mediumship, I like spirit to do all the heavy lifting. So what that means is that when I sit down to do a mediumship reading with somebody, I get your first name, your payment, and your email address if it's outside of a live, and that's it. That's the only information. And my turnaround time is typically within like 1 to 2 hours. Sometimes it's a little more if I'm like busy doing other things, but typically it's same day turnaround. So what that translates to is that, A, I wouldn't have time to look you up. B, it's really difficult if I don't have your first and your last name. And C, I don't have the fucking time, nor do I want to, okay? So I let spirit do the heavy lifting. I'm a human being. I'm fallible, right? I can make mistakes, but spirit doesn't. So when I'm channeling, all the energy that's coming through is from the spirit realm, and they don't make mistakes. So there's been times where I've read for people and they've said, well, none of that really resonates. I can't understand what you're telling me, blah, blah, blah. Spirit will also tend to bring forward a lot of things that haven't happened for you yet. And then I love that because I have to tell people like a lot of my stuff is predictive in nature. So it might not be happening in your 3D reality yet, but my readings are good for an entire year. So if in that year's time you haven't seen these things happen, then I would be surprised. However, I've had people over the years get readings and they're confused. They don't understand the information. And within, sometimes it's hours, I get emails and they're like, oh my gosh, you will not believe. And I'm like, no, I would. Spirit always knows the answers and I trust spirit. Or there's times where people come back and it might be months later and they're like, hey, you did a reading for me back in whatever and you predicted this and oh my gosh, it just happened. I'm like, you're welcome. Thank Spirit. You know, it's like, I'm just the go-between. I'm just the in-between, the medium. I always tell people, like, it doesn't come from me. It literally comes from God, source, spirit, creator, the universe, spiritual realm, angels, your guardians, your ancestors. It's not me. I'm literally just receiving the message and I just deliver it. That's it. That's my job. That's all I do. So hopefully that makes sense on how I work and what I do. But I never take credit for all of the energy that comes through. It's simply spirit that they just work through me. So. Oh, what is my Zelle? It's my email. So if you go to my link tree, the link in my bio, it's printed out at the top. It might be on my page. I have to look because I don't remember. But it's just my email. Let me look real quick because I don't know. Apologies, I have really bad allergies today too. So if I sound stuffy, that's why. I'm not sick. I don't have any sort of yucky stuff going on right now. Oh, come on. Silly thing. Anyways, it's in the, there's a pinned video on my page that's like typed out. It tells like all of the services and stuff. It's listed there too. It's in most of the videos, like in the caption or the comments now, I think too. So it's in my link tree. If you click the link in the bio, my email's there. But it's Tarot, TAROTBYDAMSEL @gmail.com. Tarot by Damsel. Okay, Tara. Is that Tara? I've seen you in so long. Have not seen you in so long. It's been a hot minute. I was thinking about you the other day, ironically. How funny. Okay, let me refresh my screen here because it's just being slow. All right, anywho's. Let me clear some of these notifications off. Okay, we had Jessica. All right. So, Tara, it has been a long time. How are you? Hopefully you're well. Hopefully things are going well for you. Are we doing tarot mediumship or charms for you today? So funny. I love it when spirit will make me think of like, people that are outside of my regular, group of people that I associate with on a regular basis. And I'll think of them and then, they come into my 3D reality. What's charms? So I have a ton of charms in here. There's like 200 or 400 different charms in here. So what I do is I shuffle them like this. And whatever I pull out is what you get. And I read the charm. So it's called charm casting. So that's an option. We have tarot or we have mediumship with me. You can pick any one of the three for your $10 reading. Pretty easy. I try to make it easy on everybody. And you never know. Sometimes the charms are really fun because it's like you never know what's going to come out. And they're showing me, what was that? Forrest Gump. Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. How funny. No worries. Just think about it for a minute and decide what you want to do. Not a worry at all. Cassandra loves the charms. She's had a few readings with me where we include charms, and she always says that they're very accurate, the charms. I love it all. Me too. I think channeling and mediumship is probably one of my favorite things to do just because I love working with spirit's energy, but I love it all. Okay, so we're going to do charms for tarot. Love it. Okay. All right, Spirit, what's going on for Tara? What does she need to see? There we go. Interesting. Ooh. All right. So you have 2 snakes that caught my eye right away. So we have a cobra and then, I don't know, just some other regular thing. So we have the cobra, right? That's a little more obvious. See the size difference there? So there could be a smaller, more hidden enemy with agenda is what they're giving me with that. Now, last year, I will tell you, was the year of the wood snakes. It was all about shedding things that didn't serve our highest purpose moving forward. So there could have been a lot of things that Spirit was literally they're showing me like an onion and layers being peeled off, right, to get to the center. And then they're telling me to get to the center of, what is that? It's not Hershey. Do you know what I'm talking about? The old TV commercials with the owl that would, the center of a Tootsie Pop. Tootsie Pop, that's what it is. Thank you, Spirit. So what they're showing me is it's like, how many licks does it take to get to the center? Okay, so what they're telling me is that there is a lot of things in your world that have had to exit or be removed. Some of them were extremely painful. We already know one of those, and we don't have to talk about that right now. But one of the things that they're highlighting for me is that you had some hidden enemies, okay? And some of these hidden enemies were really sly, okay? What they show me is a snake in the grass. So you don't necessarily know it's there until sometimes it's too late, right? I hate that for anybody who's experienced that. But what they're showing me with that is that you have leaps and bounds overcome all of these enemies that tried to infiltrate your security. And I know this is going to make sense. What they show me is a castle. And so the castle is like your protection, your fortress, your home. And so there were all of these challenges or enemies trying to infiltrate, right? But they couldn't. There's this energetic barrier that's around you that's protecting you always. So over this weekend, if there's anything that's still off in your reality, in your surroundings, Spirit's going to show you who these snakes or untrustworthy people are. And there's two. One I think you already know about, you might have already experienced, but there's one that's really sneaky and really hidden. And oh, wouldn't you know it, we have a moon. Okay, moon and stars. I do feel like if there is somebody with a hidden agenda that's also going to come out, you do have a wish fulfillment that's also trying to come in. But what I feel like first has to happen is Spirit has to remove all this negative energy. They're giving me the words that's been lying in wait to strike. And then as a result of that being cleaned out and washed away, all of a sudden this wish fulfillment starts to come in. They're telling me they don't want you to lose hope that positive changes can still happen in your life, okay? I do think that you're about to be extremely busy. We have a little bee there. A bee is a signal of miracles coming in. It's also an indication that there's going to be, they're telling me flighty energy. So really fast pace. You know, bees are always like buzzing around the nest. They're pollinating flowers. They're making honey, right? Like, as a mom, you're probably so busy all the time moving about and doing all these things. So there's some sort of miracle that they're highlighting is going to come in for you while you're really busy. That's funny. So they're saying it happens while you're busy. I almost feel like it really takes you by surprise and catches you off guard. Like, what is happening? And there's a bee outside my window. I couldn't make this up if I tried. It flew up too high. I can't probably see it. Okay, you're also going through a lot of change and transformation. So butterflies are an indication that you are going through a rebirth, a metamorphosis, or they're giving me the word recalibration. So internally, a lot of things are changing within you right now. And I feel like from now till the end of this year, you're really going to be a very different person energetically by the time everything's said and done. Maybe that's the miracle that you need. Butterflies are also, well, winged creatures in general, whether it's birds, bees, whatever, they're a sign from Spirit. And what they're showing me is a white flower, and I see a butterfly landing in the white flower. So that could be a symbol for you to look out for your daughter that's in spirit. It's a white flower with a butterfly landing in it. So you're going to notice it because it's a white flower, and it's like the most pristine, beautiful white, and then a butterfly that lands in this white flower. Maybe that's the miracle. I don't know exactly, but they're showing me that there's definitely going to be a sign of that for you. So it's a white flower with a butterfly. All right, we have a bullet here. So there could be something that you've been hesitating on making changes about. And I feel like Spirit's trying to tell you that the time is going to present itself for you to kind of bite the bullet, so to speak, and to take a risk or to try something new. They want you to know that you are spiritually and energetically protected, okay? Ask Spirit for what you need. They want you to connect to Spirit often. They're telling me that They're telling me that for a while, maybe your faith was kind of rocky because of everything that you've gone through in the last several years, but that at your core, you still very much believe, and they want you to hold on to that hope that things can improve, that's really important. We have I love baseball, so somebody could play baseball. You might be attending a baseball game of some sort, whether it's your kids or, Major League Baseball, whatever. Pack an umbrella. That's funny. They never give me that, even though that's what that's for. The rainy days are going to be few and far between, meaning the sad times. Things are starting to finally make progress moving forward to overcome a lot of the challenges of depression and sadness, grief, all of these things. We're going to start to find happier things in our life to move us forward to the next phase where we need to be. There could be a reason that you need to bring an umbrella with you. So if you have one, maybe just put it in your car. They're highlighting that like I see one in the back seat of a car. I don't know why necessarily that's important, but they're highlighting it, so I'm going to give that to you. Okay. We have the hamster hand with an eye. So Spirit sees everything that you're going through. Spirit wants you to know you're protected everywhere. Everywhere that you go, you are protected. I feel like it's really important that on a daily basis that you connect to God, Source, Spirit, the universe, creator, your spirit team, your guardian angels, ancestors in some way, shape, or form. Whether that is prayer, meditation, grounding, sitting outside in nature, that they said that it's crucial at this time for you. It's going to help you stay in a frame of mind that's more positive instead of negative and kind of pull you out of any sort of doom and gloom that you could be dealing with. We also have the root chakra, so needing to ground your energy is super important right now. So even as small as like 5 to 10 minutes a day, walk barefoot outside on the earth, sit on it, lay on it, whatever's most important or comfortable for you. If you live near water, the ocean, streams, ponds, dip your feet in the water. If you don't live near anything like that, anything that is actual dirt, earth, ground, not man-made stuff, real, actual touch grass, touch trees, okay? Sit in sunshine. All of those things help you to actually get rid of any sort of like negative energy that you might be carrying and allow the positive energy in its place. We have music notes. So Spirit always connects to me through music. It's something that it's since I was a child. So music of some kind. They're actually, what is that? Sweet Caroline by Neil Diamond. I know they play that at a lot of baseball games. That's the first thing that I'm channeling. But some sort of music is going to be really significant. It could be like a favorite song, something that's super important for you. I'm also hearing like children's programming. Nothing super specific, but I hear what sounds like, nursery rhymes or things that children would watch, like children's programming, cartoons. So you might hear like a theme song or something that stands out to you that has to do with music, children, happiness, positive things coming through. And your last charm is a heart that's overflowing, okay? I really feel like you're about to get your spark back in life, because Spirit's removing a lot of obstacles for you. So instead of your heart maybe feeling sad or burdened or heavy, things are going to get lighter for you. Things are going to get a lot better for you. Energetically, I feel like you're going to start giving more to yourself first. And as a result, you're going to have so much love that just kind of boils over that you're going to have plenty to go around. So some really positive things are starting to change for you moving forward. You yourself are going through a lot of major energetic shifts and changes for improvement. And as a result, people that maybe you used to resonate with or you used to align with no longer are going to be in that frequency, and Spirit's just going to separate you. There's going to be some sort of like, what's the right word for that? Separation, deviation, like you're on a different path. And so you guys just won't vibrate the same, and energetically you're just going to shift out of each other's space. There, no harm, no foul is what they tell me. There's not going to be any sort of like, major blow up or anything. You just don't align anymore. So Spirit's just removing them and new doors will come in its place. You are going to be really busy though, moving forward. And whoever these snakes are or any sort of deceptive, anything that's going on, it's going to be illuminated so that you can sever ties. Again, they show me a snake in the grass. So if for any reason, I don't know why this is coming through, if for any reason you live in a place where there's like tall grass, be careful. And I wouldn't like walk through there like not looking for something. There could be a snake literally in the grass, okay? Especially if there's tall grass. That never comes through, so that's specific to you. But I do feel like there's something hidden, a hidden enemy, a hidden obstacle. So you want to be aware, is what they're telling me. Be aware. Not that you have to be fearful, just be aware. Look around, okay? Watch your surroundings. If something feels off, trust your instincts and intuition. If there is tall grass, you might need to, get that taken care of so we prevent any sort of snakes from being able to lie around in your energy. Any questions for me about your reading? Oop, bumped the camera there. Had a huge white poppy bloom. I love that. So if you see a butterfly landing in an all white flower, I would say that's really, really important. I feel like it will be something that's noticeable. It's not like, oh yeah, I missed it. They're not going to let you miss it. So curious who this is. So also when it pertains to the snakes or deceptive people around you, really trust your instincts and intuition. Spirit says that they're going to highlight who this person is when the time is right, when you need to know. I would say it's going to happen by this weekend, no later than Sunday evening, that it'll be illuminated. So you either hear of something, see something, or Spirit clues you in on what's going on. So just pay attention to those things. But I feel like it's going to be somebody that, maybe you already had suspicions about, and you're just going to be like, yep, nope, I'm done now. Don't care. So just pay attention to those things. All right. Let me make sure. Okay. Tansy. Okay. There's Miss Tansy. All right. You're welcome. I hope that helps. So let's see. Tansy, what are we doing for you? Mediumship and tarot. Yes, absolutely. I was reading your notes there. Okay, so let's start with tarot real quick, and then we'll see what we've got for mediumship for you. Excited. Okay, let's see what's going on for Tansy. What does she need to know, Spirit? What's going on? What's the energy? Taking the long way. No worries. I do too, and my problem with taking the long way is I learn a lot of lessons. So if you read my book, Stepping Stones to Destiny, there's a chapter in there that I talk about learning lessons the hard way in life. And I call it brick wall learning, because Spirit will try and get your attention easy at first, right? A little whisper, a little, hey, hey. And then you keep ignoring it, right? Oh, I'm too busy. Oh, I don't care. You don't hear it, whatever. Until finally, bam, you hit that brick wall, and it's like, okay, I would like to learn lessons the easy way, but I'm stubborn. I've learned so many lessons in my life the hard way. It's like, I probably wouldn't have learned anything had I not learned it the hard way growing up. So, it happens. What are you going to do? You're going to live and learn. Always take the long way. The Long Way Home. I love that song. I actually know exactly what you're talking about. How funny. All right. Tansy, what's happening for Miss Tansy? Ooh, okay. Well, first things first, we have the Nine of Swords out here. What are you worrying about? And why are you worrying? Spirit's always got your back. See, I couldn't make this up, but I tried. I love it when spirits, they just confirm it in visuals for you guys. You're worrying. You're worrying about something so hard. You're losing sleep at night. Are you having trouble sleeping like me? You awake all freaking night long? I wish Spirit could just tell me like in a dream, and then I wake up, oh yeah, that's all I needed to know. It doesn't happen that way most of the time. So Spirit wants you to stop worrying so much and give up control about whatever the situation or obstacle is. And they want you to release that control and give it back to God. Flat out. Give it back to God. Stop worrying. Stop trying to control the outcome. They said that's why you haven't seen any sort of improvement yet, is because you keep trying to worry about it. You keep trying to fix it yourself. I think if I remember right, you're a Gemini. And so Geminis are air signs. So that means that they govern the mind, the thoughts, things like that. And so your thoughts are kind of swirling around the hamster wheel, right? Going a million miles an hour, but you're getting nowhere, right? You're just spinning your wheels, overthinking and worrying about things that you're unable to change. Spirit said, are you ready to give us the reins? Are you ready to let us drive the car now? If you are, they want you to release control. They want you to stop worrying. They want you to start thinking more positive before you're going to see the outcome that you desire. So what they're telling me with that is that if you just dip your toe in the water, this one doesn't have a body of water, but normally this angel has a pool of water down here and they're dipping their toe in the water. They want you to try, okay, operative word. They want you to try something new. They want you to just for one day, just for, next 5 minutes. Can you apply something different and see if you get a different outcome? Can you think something positive? Can you tell yourself something positive? Can you tell yourself like a positive daily affirmation when you start to worry? Instead of that worry, can you replace it with something positive? I think you can. The question is, will you? So I worry all the time too. It's a habit that I've had since I was small. But now when I catch myself doing that, I try and tell myself the opposite of what I was worrying about. Instead of worrying about bills and money and all those things, nope, Spirit's always got my back, quite literally. Spirit's got your back, okay? And they want you to stop overthinking and spinning the hamster wheel. They want you to instead, if you're going to overthink it, it needs to be positive. So instead of spinning the hamster wheel in the negative, they want you to spin it in the positive. Start telling yourself the best possible outcome instead of the worst and watch things start to change for you. So what they're telling me is that Spirit has your back. If you start to put that much effort and energy thinking and overthinking about the positive, you're going to start to see that happen in place of the negative. So that's what they want you to try. That's where you start to dip your toe in the water. Here's an example. Let's say you're stressed about bills, right? Let's say you've got like a $500 electric bill and you don't know how you're going to pay it. Okay, so you're going to start, instead of worrying about where the money's coming from, Spirit wants you to start saying things like, I know that Spirit's going to take care of all the bills that I have to take care of. The money's just going to show up. More than enough. I don't have to worry. More than enough is on its way. I don't have to know how it's coming or where it's coming from. Spirit has that part figured out. I don't need to know. I just know that all of my needs are taken care of. We are going to meet or exceed expectations, and I feel a ton of energy coming forward. When you start to change the negative mindset of how you operate your mind, you are going to be ecstatic with the outcome, is what they tell me. You are going to be overjoyed. You're going to be emotionally overrun with positive changes. It starts in the mind. So they want you to quiet your mind of worry. They want you to spend some time out in nature. They said it would do you some good. They said that you really, truly need to get out of your own way. I'm going to let that sink in for just a second. They need you to release control and to get out of your own way for them to move in your favor. And if you are willing and able to release control, and I know it's hard, speaking from experience, I know it's hard, they will move mountains for you. But you have to let go of control. You have to trust in the divine. You have to trust that Spirit is going to move in your favor, never against you. And they need you to understand that. It is always for your betterment, never for your detriment. And they need you to understand that. So your number one thing is you need to go touch grass today. Today. You need to go touch grass, touch a tree, spend at least 5 to 10 minutes outside in fresh air and in nature. No phone. No anything else going on, by yourself, you and Spirit. That's it. Go touch grass. They said that's number one. Number two, you're going to start making this a daily habit. They want you to make sure that you incorporate grounding into your everyday life in some way, shape, or form for a minimum of 5 to 10 minutes at a time. More is always better. If you don't have the time, 5 minutes will do. They also said that if you relinquish control, we're going to open doors for you. Miracles will start to happen in your everyday life. Doors will start to open for you. Are you open to receive? If you're blocking it because you're overthinking the negativity, you won't notice it. You won't receive it. You have to be open to receive what Spirit is trying to give you. Are you open to receive? Really important. There's also the opportunity for a love relationship in your life, something that's really emotionally beneficial to you. Now, it doesn't have to be romantic. This could be a friendship. But I feel like whoever this person is, this King of Cups, is somebody who wears their heart on their sleeve. They're emotionally intelligent. They're empathetic. They're intuitive. They are very loving and affectionate. It's water sign energy, so Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. It's somebody that I feel like could really help you to, what's the right words you want me to tell her with this? It's somebody that I feel like could help you understand your own feelings a little bit better. That's a weird way of putting it, but that's how they gave it to me. They would help you understand your feelings more. Really strange. So what they're telling me is that there's going to be a lot of change coming in for you in the coming weeks, and you need to be open to it, not hesitant. You might be a little hesitant at first because you don't always trust new people, but that this is somebody that almost is like an earth angel is what they're showing me. And this person means you no harm. They're not somebody that's going to hurt you in any way, shape, or form. They're somebody that quite literally is there to help you like navigate and balance things out in your world. I love that. Okay. We also have the Page of Cups. So there's some good news that's trying to come in. This could happen for like a child in your life as well. Some achievements, some milestones is what they're telling me. I know graduation season is like upon us right now. And then we also have the Nine of Pentacles. All your hard work's going to pay off and then some. This is usually seen as like a high privileged person. It's cats in this deck, but a high privileged woman. Okay. So having some financial security, independence, opportunities, for abundance and growth to come in for you. Will you get out of Spirit's way and allow them to bless you? Will you get out of the way? Will you get the hamster off the wheel of negativity and let it run for positivity? What they're showing me is they're giving me the words, this is a marathon, it's not a sprint. You've been running ragged for years, it feels like, worrying about every finite detail, and Spirit says, can you let me do some of that instead? Can you take off control? Can you let me do some of that instead? Because I promise you they're going to be able to figure things out way better than you. Why? Well, Spirit sees things from up above, right? We can only see what's right in front of us. So if we're constantly chasing our own tail, if we're constantly, spinning our wheels, not getting anywhere, that's Spirit trying to tell us that we need to allow Spirit to move things instead of us trying to have the reins constantly. And I feel like that's the problem, is you're holding on so tight, you're trying to control it, that Spirit's like, until you let go, I'm not going to let you move. There's something that's an obstacle, and I feel like the obstacle is worry and control. And really, we're never in control. Spirit's always in control. So what they said is you have to relinquish control of the reins. You have to give control back to Spirit, and then things are going to actually start to move forward and change for you. So I feel like this is a pattern or a habit that can be broken, but it's going to take some time. So grounding your energy is going to be critical, okay? That way you can start listening to your instincts and intuition as opposed to worry and fear from the ego. So that's a huge thing for you. The other thing is be open to new connections. It doesn't have to be romance, but it absolutely could be. And it might take you by surprise. If you're already happily married or something, no harm, no foul there. This could be like your partner opening up to you. Maybe there's more emotions being shown, things like that. Maybe there's, kindness, rekindling things, whatever it happens to be. But you do have some good news, and the good news does come in fast. There is a rabbit on the card of the Page of Cups. So it could be, this is like a big leap for you. Could also be like pregnancy announcements. Rabbits are a symbol of fertility. It doesn't have to be you. It could be somebody around you. And I also feel like there is positive celebratory news coming in. Some of that could have to do with money. All right, Nine of Pentacles is about wealth. It's about abundance. It's about security. So she's cultivated things well, right? She's got, 6 over here and 3 over here. You're going to be able to give some of that away if you wanted to, because you're going to have more than enough. And that's what I'm talking about when Spirit says they want you to give up control and allow Spirit to guide you, because Spirit's going to guide you towards opportunities that bless you and people around you. They're not going to put you in a position of lack and worry ever. That's not something that Spirit does. They're going to put you in a position of power. They're going to put you in a position where you get to be generous with what you have with those that you care about, because that's how Spirit sets us up for success. So by releasing the worry and the fear, all of a sudden you get the opposite side of that coin, which is quite literally abundance. Okay. So that's the tarot portion of that. So I do feel your father's energy stepping forward, and he comes forward. He looks like he's getting ready to go like fishing. He's got shorts and a t-shirt on. He's got sunglasses on. He looks like he's been in the sun. He's got like either a good suntan or a bit of a sunburn that I'm picking up. His skin might have just had like a reddish pigment to it as well. I do see what looks like a mustache, like a grayish mustache. I do see glasses on him. He's kind of a jokester. He comes through where he's got some energy where he's just kind of shrugging his shoulders like, come on, kid, you can do this. Come on. I know you can actually achieve what you want to achieve. I do feel like you have some lofty goals, and he's trying to tell you that you're going to be successful if you can just stop the worrying. I feel like this has been a pattern for you since childhood, so I do think that this is something that maybe he tried to encourage you to worry less, to, you know, go in a different direction, try different things. And so he's kind of encouraging you, like, you can do this, giving you a pep talk. He's showing me what looks like a child with a baseball cap on. Could be a male, could be a female. I'm not positive, because what I'm seeing is a child sitting and their back is turned to me, but I can see the baseball cap. And then I see the father figure kind of standing next to them, patting them on the shoulder and encouraging them to keep trying. Like, don't lose hope that what you want is possible. Just keep trying. And I feel like this is something that you really missed from his energy. I'm going to try really hard not to like cry when I'm channeling, but sometimes the emotion's just overwhelming for me. And I feel like you and your dad they're giving me the word inseparable, right? Two peas in a pod. You guys were thick as thieves. You guys were best friends. And so that's a wounding that I totally understand. And so I feel like what he's trying to show you is that even in spirit, he's got your back. Even in spirit, he's going to encourage you to keep going. He's going to encourage you to try harder. He's going to encourage you to do the best for you that's possible. And it's always possible. And he wants you to understand that. But what he's telling me is that you're a fighter. He's telling me that you're determined. You're a bit stubborn sometimes, but in the best way possible. And those things are going to help you achieve your next set of goals. And he doesn't want you to give up, whatever these goals happen to be. I feel like for a long time, you've struggled in a love relationship. You've struggled with feeling like you're enough. You've struggled with in-laws. You've struggled with like outside sources, right, that kind of attack the union. And I feel like you're tired of the struggle. And so this might be that you cut things off and you go in a new direction. This might be that you separate or you divorce if it's just not going to get any better. And that you will have the finances available in order to be successful on your own if that's what you truly decide to do. He just wants you to be happy, and he's encouraging you to keep trying. Whatever it is that you want, don't give up on that. Don't lose hope. He said that's the most important thing. That you just have to keep trying and put one foot in front of the other and release control. Do your part, and spirit's going to fill in the gaps for you wherever that happens to pertain, whether it's money, might be a new job that pays a lot better, might be a place to live that's, you know, way within your budget so you have plenty of money left over. Whatever it happens to be, he is helping you to achieve that next set of goals, and he wants you to know that he's right there with you. He's right by your side, and he's never left. He also is showing me what looks like, it looks like a headstone. So if he doesn't have like an actual headstone, he's showing me like a place that you go to feel connected to him. I do feel like there's either a tree or some sort of like memorial for him that you go to. It could be like just a place that you go sit outside in nature, things like that. And what he's showing me is that when you're there and you're talking to him, even if it's just in your thoughts and your minds, that he hears everything. I feel like there's been times where you've been so frustrated that you're like, do you even hear me? Can you show me a sign? I need to hear from you, especially on hard days, right? Birthdays, anniversaries, all those things where it's like the emotions just come to the surface and it's really hard to get through the day. Sometimes it's hard to just get through the minutes, the hours, all those things. And he wants you to know he hears it and he wants to make it better, but you have to let go of control in order for him to help you at this point. He's also saying that he can do a lot more now that he's in spirit than he could sometimes while he was living. And so he wants you to know you're going to be pleasantly surprised. You're going to start crying tears of joy when you see how good life's going to get for you, as long as you can let go of control. And that's the biggest hurdle you're going to face right now, is the overthinking, the worry, and the control issues. And if you can start to let go of those things, you're going to be pleasantly surprised and completely dumbfounded with how good life's going to be for you. I love that you got the 9 of Pentacles in your tarot portion, because the 9 of Pentacles is all about abundance. It's all about more than enough. That person wouldn't have to worry so much about the day-to-day things in life because they've got their bases covered with plenty of money left to go around. And that's where Spirit's trying to move you, if you will let go of the worry. And that's the biggest obstacle, is the worry. So that worry starts to ruin things in life, right? Doubts and fears, they block your blessings. So it's something that I want you to try for 21 days as positive affirmations. When you start to notice that you're thinking negative about a situation, I want you to flip the script. Be as outlandish as possible. Okay, delusion is sometimes the solution for our problems. The universe only wants to give you good things. They only want to reward you with good things. So start telling yourself you expect the best possible outcome all the time. I know that things are working out for me. I know that things are improving. I know that things are getting better all of the time. I know that Spirit's got my back. I know that, my ancestors are helping me to achieve my next set of goals. I know that things are going to always get better. Universe, show me how positive things can get, how quick things can change for the better. Show me the best possible outcome. Show me my dream life. Show me my dream partner. Show me my dream job. Show me all the good things in life, and watch doors and opportunities start to gravitate and come in. You have to match the frequency. If you're in low vibration with doom and gloom, you don't match the frequency of your abundance and blessings yet. It's not impossible. It just takes time, and it takes you actively making changes. I would also encourage you, Spirit's telling me to get to the bottom of why are you worrying. If you can kind of unravel why you worry so much, Spirit's going to show you that you don't even have a reason to worry anymore. That whatever you initially started to worry about has been removed, and that they're going to just alleviate all of that stuff out of your life, out of your path, and they're going to start replacing it with blessings instead. That was powerful. All right, my dear, any questions for me on that? Let me catch up with you. Okay, let's see. Heard him today, didn't for a minute, so I wanted to hear his voice yesterday, and I heard him today. I love that. I love that he's coming through in a way that you can acknowledge that he's there, because that's a huge thing. My mom's in spirit too, for those of you that didn't know, and she was the catalyst for why I do this. Like, I've always been psychic. I didn't know I was a medium until probably about 6 or so years ago. And my mom passing away was the catalyst for my gifts amplifying and me using them. I actually had a dream roughly a month before she died. Everything that happened in my dream was what unfolded when she passed away. She lived on her own, and it was in the middle of lockdown. And no one had seen or heard from her in a couple of days in her apartment building. And then we got a random message from a person that lived in her building that was friends with my niece, had called to give condolences about her passing. And we were all kind of like, what in the heck is going on? And so I found out through the grapevine, basically through the police department, that she had passed away in her home, and she had been there several days before we had found her. And so that started like unraveling my spiritual gifts, and it started to become where I couldn't ignore it anymore. I couldn't ignore the signs. I couldn't ignore all of the like revelations, the visions, the downloads, whatever title you want to give all that stuff, the information, the sudden knowing. I couldn't ignore it anymore. It was starting to just happen in a way that it was uncanny. And so I wrote a book about my experience, about my grief journey, all the things that happened leading up to my spiritual awakening. And now I use my gifts to help other people along their journey, which is life. And so that's why I do mediumship readings. That's why I do tarot, is because it's a way for me to tap into that energy to be able to give insight and clarity for people who are struggling on their own journey, because we all struggle at some point. So that's how that came about. So I've read tarot for over 25 years, but it was just like a hobby that I had. And then mediumship, I didn't know I was a medium for years. I apparently was channeling since childhood, but didn't know that's what it was. And so I took a seminar that taught me how to tap in at will so that I could actually use it on a regular basis, and started like trying to give readings for people, testing my accuracy, all those things, and was dumbfounded the first couple of readings how accurate I actually was. And so continued to develop my skills over the last several years. And I was really hesitant to start doing lives because I was really nervous to like be seen, to be judged, all those things, imposter syndrome, you know, we all get those. But overcoming my fear and finding my courage was probably my biggest hurdle trying to do all of this, because I'm a really shy person. I'm really an introvert, and my North Node is in Leo. And so my purpose in this life is all about being seen in a really big way. And it's still uncomfortable for me. So I'm trying to like, you know, every day take another little step, a little nibble at getting where spirit needs me to be. And so part of that is doing live streams regularly to get over that hurdle of being seen. And once the channel is open, I'm good. But like the first couple of readings, I'm always a little like, please, spirit, make it good. Just because I always want to give you guys the best, most accurate information there is. So, you know, believing in yourself is a huge deal. Jenna, you're absolutely beautiful. I love you. I love you guys. You guys are so special to me. I'm always so glad when like repeat people come back in, right? And I'm always grateful for new people too, but I love it when people who've had individual readings with me come into a live, because they can give you their own testimonies, you know. They're not paid for that. It's their own words. But it means the world to me when somebody's like gives a recommendation or a referral to come get a reading with me, because it validates to myself, my stubborn brain, that this is a real gift and that spirit really wants me to connect and use those things to help people. So you need to believe it, as you are the most genuine soul. I love that, Cass. I love it. You always deliver messages, so precious. Did send 10 for PayPal. Okay. What that does for a reading. So it would buy you a reading of your choice. They're just mini readings, just like we've just been doing that the whole time. Oh, let me refresh my screen here. So everybody that's already purchased a reading, can you please comment in the chat box, because I need to refresh my stuff. All right. You're beyond amazing. I just saw your videos yesterday and was like, hey, and now my reading was amazing. I love that. So I took a break from TikTok for several weeks. I've kind of been in hiding, spiritual jail for a little bit. So when there's stuff that's changing for the collective, we feel it too. And sometimes we feel it before you guys pick up on it. And sometimes you guys are right along with us at the same time. So I've been extremely exhausted, really frustrated. All the stuff going on with all the planets in Aries really affected me in like not a great way. And so I had to like take some downtime to regroup. Part of that was I was spread too thin. I started working a second job doing like DoorDashes just for extra money, because readings were really slow. And so I wasn't posting a ton of videos because I was doing that instead. And so, physical body, I was just exhausted and burnt out, like wasn't even posting very much on my YouTube channel and all that stuff. So I really just kind of like refocused inward for a couple of weeks. And then Spirit's like, okay, time to come out of hibernation. Let's go. You got shit to do. You got people to talk to. Come on, come on, come on. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Chop, chop, let's go. And so the last few days I haven't really been sleeping very much. And my channel has been really active. My mental channel, I should say. My intuitive channel has been extremely active to the point where it's just not quiet. And so if I'm not actively channeling and using the energy, I'm inundated with information that exhausts me. So I physically at this point have to channel in order to relax, if that makes sense. It's like if you drink too much coffee and you feel like you're really hyper, like you could go run a marathon and you just buzzing. That's what it feels like when I have messages that have to come through me. It's the weirdest thing in the world to me. But the only way I can relax and like rest is I have to do this pretty regularly. I have to. It's what I'm here to do. It's my purpose. So here we are, and this is what we're doing. All right, let's see. So paid readings for a personal. I also do collective readings as well, Donna, but if you want to purchase a personal, they're only $10. You can buy a more in-depth one if you want, but usually the 5 cards for tarot is pretty adequate. Charms is whatever I happen to grab out of the bowl. There's like 200 to 400 charms in there. I can't remember exactly. And mediumship is me channeling. So tarot, charms, or mediumship are your 3 choices. And then whatever happens to come out is your reading. So that's how that works. American. So it would be in dollars. I take PayPal, Cash App, or Zelle. Those are the 3 payment types I take. And if you click the link in my bio, it's going to have the payment information in there. So yeah, check that out if you want to. Go time. Exactly. Go time. Was that Luke? Did you say flow state was Luke as in Cassandra's husband? I love that you're both watching. If so, that's great. Too funny. Too funny. Okay. So we read for Jessica already, I believe. Let me clear out my inbox real quick so I'm not confused. Thank you guys for all the gifts. Appreciate you.
Mike, you have 30 seconds to ask the question or I'm muting you for 5 minutes.
You're going to mute me?
Not you.
Oh. How did that even work? How did that person like get on there without me accepting it? That's new to me. How do I undo this? Hang on, guys. How do I disconnect? Because I wasn't trying to do that. Okay, I don't know what's going on with why there's another person in the chat all of a sudden, because I didn't hit anything, so I'm confused. Well, hi, Luke. Good to see you. I'm trying to figure out where the button is to disconnect, because I wasn't trying to do that. Hang on. Your girl is not tech savvy on this. Let's see. What in the world? How do I disconnect from that? Oh! I don't even know. Does anybody in the chat know how to like get out of that? Or Sunbum, can you disconnect? I was in the middle of doing other things here.
Oh, sorry about that. I had to grab something.
I don't even know how you're on my screen right now because I didn't hit anything to invite you.
Yeah, you.
So how did we do that? Okay, there we go. Thank you. Appreciate you. All right, so let's see. Who else already purchased a reading? We did Tansy, we did Jessica, did Tara. Let me see if there's... Okay, that was Tara. Okay, did anybody else purchase the reading? I don't want to skip anybody. I want to make sure we get what we paid for here. Did but patient. Okay, Cass. Did you send it through PayPal? I didn't look at PayPal. No worries. I believe you. What are we doing for you? Do you want to do tarot charms or mediumship? I think my email is just lagging today for whatever reason. Technical difficulties. I don't know why. So I've had this laptop for several years, had to replace a modem in it already, and it works when it wants to. It's real stubborn. Hang on. Let's see. Well, anyway, regardless, whatever. Okay, just tell me which one of the three you wanted to do. Cast, tarot charms, or mediumship? Tarot, love it. Okay, let's see what's going on. Hope you had a great birthday. Wasn't that like last week or the week before you said was your birthday? One of my kiddos, his birthday is the 1st of May, so he works all the time and all that fun stuff too, so I just sent him money. I was like, love you, go do something you want to do. We'll meet up later when you're free, but he just got a random deposit in his bank account for his birthday. Hi, I love you, here's money. He was like, what is this? I said, it's a birthday present because your mom works too much, so do you. So we'll see, see each other later, but it all works out. All right, let's see. What do we got for Cass? Well, I feel like you're going to be working through some obstacles with letting your guard down. Okay, so I really feel like trust issues could be something that this moon might illuminate for you because you're a Taurus and it's in the sign of Taurus. What I'm really picking up with this for you is that you've been through some hurdles and some battles already, right? And so the way that they put this to me is that you've got some hiccups for confirmation. You've got some battle wounds or some scars from things that have happened previously already, okay? The good thing about that is that a scar shows that you're stronger than whatever tried to defeat you. I'm getting another hiccup that's like stuck in my throat here. And so you're stronger than what you realize. You just might not see it yet, but Spirit's going to show you how strong you actually are. What they're also highlighting for me is that you won't have to be this strong forever, that slowly you're going to be able to lower your armor for the right people in your life, the right opportunities in your life. And so you might retreat temporarily to kind of lick your wounds or to rebuild yourself till you feel strong enough, but that you are already in a state of strength and that Spirit wants you to know that most of your enemies have already been defeated. So there's really no sense in like having this armor on all of the time, if that makes sense. What we have down here is a honey badger. And in nature, honey badgers don't have a lot of predators, okay? They're really difficult to get rid of. Spirit tells me kind of like cockroaches. But what they're telling me with that is that the honey badger is a fierce protector, okay? And so I feel like that's you, almost like a mama bear instinct. And so you might have a little bit of a rough shell or a rough exterior, but that the right opportunities will be able to penetrate through that rough exterior and to get to the heart of who you truly are. Spirit's going to give you the green light to take a leap of faith somewhere and try something new. The only caution with the Fool card is that you look before you leap. Why? If we look at the card closely, he's on the precipice of change, but that next step could be a doozy, so he's got to look before he leaps. His little dog's trying to get his attention like, hey, wake up, pay attention to where you're going. But you have spirit guides. See the birds there in the card? The spirit guides are going to also help you. So I do feel like you have a new opportunity that's coming in for you for some growth. Just make sure that you know who or what you're getting involved with, okay? So like read the fine print. If it's a contract, make sure you look before you leap. Make sure you're aware of your surroundings so you don't take a misstep. Short of that, I think things work out just fine. Now, what I am getting with the King of Swords is that you might need an attorney to like read over something, like reading the fine print. You almost need somebody that's really analytical or somebody that's really intelligent to kind of help you with this leap, this change. It could be an air sign, a Gemini, Libra, or an Aquarius. I do feel like this King of Swords is also going through change. Internally, externally, above board, below board. What they're showing me is an iceberg. And what they're telling me is that when we see an iceberg on the surface, we never know the depth of that iceberg, if that makes sense, right? From the surface, you don't know how deep it really is. But this King of Swords energy, there's a lot of deep emotions that are below the surface, and this person's going through a lot of internal changes. Now, if you know anything about the life cycle of a butterfly, it starts as a caterpillar. We all know that. And when it goes into its cocoon in the chrysalis, its insides liquefy. Everything starts to kind of like change and transform, and it literally borders on death before it transforms and emerges into this butterfly. And it's got to fight its way out of that cocoon, right? And if you help it out of the cocoon, its wings don't develop strong enough to actually help it take flight. So it can be a very painful, traumatic process. But at the end of this result, what they're telling me is that this creature, this entity is transformed. It's brand new. We have 2 butterflies on this card. So if we look closely, there's 2 people that are going through this transformation. So I view that as you and your husband are going through major transformation here. Major changes are occurring for the both of you. I do feel like there's going to be some sort of truth or clarity in a situation of where or how you move forward. And I do feel like this leap of faith is something that is really going to help catapult you forward towards success. Your next card is the Empress, so that's divine feminine energy. She symbolizes things like nurturing, empathy, intuition, creation, creativity, fertility, pregnancy, and abundance. So I feel like all of those things might come into play. What I'm really picking up is that Spirit wants you to be open to receive the blessing as well. And for the collective as a whole, I feel like we're getting to the good part of the year where we're really going to see this fire horse year take off. What Spirit's telling me is take flight. For these blessings to just come in like tenfold. Better than expected, better than anticipated, better than we ever could have imagined, that these opportunities just start to kind of flood in. And I feel like you have no idea how good things are going to get once you actually pull the trigger on this leap of faith that you're contemplating. Now, the one caution I will give you is that you have the 7 of Cups. This is all about options. Now, if we look closely, there's a snake. We have a victory wreath. We have the little dragon down here. There's a bowl of money in the middle. There's like some things that are hidden. A tower moment. And so you're really needing to weigh your options carefully there, because not everything's going to pan out how you want it to. Something could be where you miss a step and it's back to the drawing board. Something maybe doesn't pan out how you want it to. There's also the instance that there's hidden snakes, right? And so we have to be careful who we get in business with or who we connect with, because something is a little bit off. And if we're trusting our instincts and intuition, we're going to see that before it becomes a problem. So really cautioning you to think about it. Don't just act on it yet. Okay. Spirit will give you the green light. It will give you some sort of confirmation in order for you to know, okay, now is the time to do this. So pay attention. The other thing I will tell you is that there could be some perceived threats that aren't actually threats. And what I mean by that is when we've had to be in survival mode for a long time, we tend to view everything as a potential obstacle or a potential threat, even if it's not. So hiccups for confirmation. So Spirit wants you to kind of observe what's going on before you react to anything. Meaning that you're going to take more of a logical approach versus more of an emotional reactive approach, wherever this happens to pertain, whether it's in a relationship, a job, whatever. They want you to think about it before you do anything. They don't want you to jump in head first with no caution. They want you to have some caution, because that's where things actually start to come more like they become more, they're giving me the word neutral as opposed to reactive. So if things have been kind of an emotional roller coaster, congratulations, you're ascending. It's not a fun journey most of the time, but in the end of it, it does actually pan out for us. So you are going through a major transformation internally right now. Lots of things might be changing for you. Silly things like taste in certain foods could be changing, taste in music could be changing. And all of this is because your frequency or your vibration is energetically changing. And so that change is affecting all parts of your life. But ultimately, that change is really rewarded with this transformation that brings in blessings and abundance. So it is worth your time. So use caution with any big changes moving forward. Know that you aren't going to have this energetic wall up forever, but you will have to kind of filter out. They're showing me, what are those called? Like a strainer, a colander. They're showing me things like sifting through there, and all of the junk that's not supposed to be there is going to get caught, and everything that's meant for you is going to filter through, is what they're showing me. So the abundance will come. This leap of faith is kind of a key thing for you to like have a trust fall with the universe and know that Spirit's always got your back. They're going to help you achieve your next set of goals, but the transformation that you're currently going through is part of the process for you to get there. So it's not all pleasant. I'm not going to tell you that it's all like roses and rainbows and Care Bears and all that stuff. It's not. Inner work can be really ugly sometimes. It can be really painful. But on the other side of that comes healing. And with that healing comes transformation. And there's always a reward at the end for all of what you've gone through. Could be a pot of money for you. So it's like what they're trying to tell me is there's a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. So do the hard work through the challenges and obstacles. Okay. And as a result, you get to the blessings, and everybody wants to get to the blessings. So you got to do the hard work to get there. Everything is changing. It sure is. Oh my gosh, it sure is. Keep asking God to put boulders in front of me if it's not right. Oh, and they will. Oh, and they will. So one of the ways that I personally used years ago, and in my everyday life, to stay away from people that aren't good for me, is I came up with like a password or like a code word that Spirit will give me if somebody is not for me. And I didn't tell another living soul. I didn't write it down. It was literally a thought in my head that I talked to God, and I gave God the password. Okay. So think of it like a password. And only me and God have that password, and only me and God know what it means. So you can ask Spirit to reveal snakes by a certain password, and it could be something totally random, and I would recommend that it's something totally random so that it's not like a common everyday word that somebody's just going to say. I will tell you, within minutes of doing that, Spirit showed me 3 people in my world that were snakes that were hidden in plain sight. 3 people in a matter of minutes. And the word came out of nowhere, and I was gobsmacked and completely like, huh? Holy crap, that was fast. Be specific, be clear, and I would say one for like, a good confirmation that something is positive and for you, and then a totally different one for something that to reveal the snakes. And that's between you and God, whatever word or whatever it is that you use, okay? But remember what they are so that when they show up, it's a very clear sign of what's for you and what's not. And I promise you, Spirit will deliver. Oh, Lysandra, good to see you too. Holy cow. So many people that I haven't seen in like months. So that's awesome. I love to see that. Family is all coming to visit. Do you feel something has to do with them? I don't. I'm not picking up anything super like poignant for that. What they are showing me, and this is really strange. So I showed you guys when I'm channeling, I'm literally looking out the window. What I'm seeing looks like a chicken. Like a white chicken with the red, whatever you call that, the red part on the top of them. A white chicken with like a red stripe. I don't know why that's somehow important or significant, but they said that that's somehow important. They're saying something about a cock in the hen house. So there could be a lot of chatter and a lot of gossip, especially with like female relatives. It might have to do about a male in the family, maybe outside of the family, but they're saying a rooster in the hen house or a cock in the hen house. And they're showing me a visual of, I think it's a rooster. It looks like a white chicken with red on its head. I don't know why that's significant. If you see that, that could be somehow important. They're also showing me a rainbow. I can see all the colors. So you might see both of those as visuals. I think it's really important that you come up with a code word to reveal who or what's for you and who or what is not for you. That's going to be important. Oh, thank you so much, Lysandra. I've been in kind of like spiritual jail for a little bit. Been working on me because I don't do near enough of that apparently with all the shadow work and BS that I've done. But yeah, so I've been trying to prioritize, rest and take in some extra stuff off my plate that I really shouldn't have been dealing with anyway. Just things like that. Boundaries, sticking to my boundaries really, really strong. And it changes a person. So sometimes spirit will put me in seclusion for a little while to fine tune me, a little tune up here and there. Change my oil, check all my gears, make sure everything's fully functional before they push me back out of my safety zone and, tell me get back to work. You're here to do stuff. So come on, we need your energy. Get back out there. So I'm glad other people see that I look okay, because there's days where I'm like, I don't even know. I feel like a busted can of biscuits someday. I think we all go through things like that, right? In life where we're working on things that people don't know about. We're working on things that we are personally overcoming, challenges in our own world, right? And through social media, I feel like we only see like a tiny, small little glimpse of what people deal with and go through and all that stuff. And on my podcast, I share way more like personal stuff, I guess, than I probably do over here. But it's just like spirit is encouraging me to like step out of a comfort zone and kind of share some of the struggles that I'm dealing with, because the collective is also going through it. And they keep telling me that like people need to know they're going to be okay. Like there's a light at the end of the tunnel, or there's hope to be had, that things can improve. And if you show up, and even if you show up like, vulnerable, afraid, your voice cracks, they said it doesn't matter, because that just proves that you're human. And so overcoming like fear and finding courage and stuff like that is something that all of us face at some point in our life. And so they keep just telling me like, just do it. Just post the video. They don't like no filter. 3:00 in the morning, literally 3:00 in the morning. The other night I was receiving a channeled message. I'm out there doing my gardening. Okay. So I can go to sleep because it's 3 a.m. and I'm exhausted at that point. No makeup. Hair's a freaking mess. And I'm just like, whatever, fine, spirit, we'll get on here. It's stupid, but whatever. And they're like, it's not stupid, it's important. And so I've just been like trying to overcome my own challenges of fear and put all that aside, because my mission work is like, it's starting to become where I can't ignore it for any reason whatsoever, including at 3:00 in the morning when I should be asleep. Spirit's like, you're not going to be on a normal schedule ever again. They've told me that for years. You're not going to be able to hold a 9-to-5 job ever again. You're not going to be able to, look normal ever again. Like you're not supposed to be. You're not supposed to be normal. You're supposed to be different for a reason. That's why you're here, is you're supposed to be different. And so we just kind of show up. We just kind of, one foot in front of the other. It's like, hi, we're here. I don't know what we're doing. Spirit, take the wheel there and lead where we're supposed to go. So hi. Tears and all. We don't even worry about it anymore. We just let it flow. And especially when spirit's really active, especially if I'm channeling a lot, the tears tend to flow. That's how I know the Holy Spirit is with me when I channel. It's like, I'm not sad. It's not like any sort of anything like that. It's just, that's how I know that the presence is there, is I cry for no reason. So that happens. Sometimes I feel the emotions for the person I'm reading, and so it comes out, and you guys see that. I don't filter it. There's no reason to it. It's just feelings, but I'm an empath, so I feel all that stuff. So we just roll with it at this point. I'm kind of used to it now, like 6.5 years in. I'm just kind of used to spirit, just kind of drags me wherever they want me to be. They're just like, hey, show up. We need you here today. Okay. Okay, we're just going to show up. I promise you there are days where I'm so dog-ass tired. So tired. It's like I can barely get up. I can barely function, barely get through the day, slam a cup of coffee, take a shower, put readings out or whatever. And Spirit's like, no, none of that. None of that even matters right now. Just, we're going to give you the words, just show up. And so that's kind of where I'm at lately. Just show up. Spirit will help with the rest. Crying isn't sadness. It's beyond amazing crying. It's the feeling. It is the feeling. It totally is. I'm glad that makes sense to other people, because sometimes I feel like I don't always articulate what I mean well. So I'm glad that when I channel Spirit's better about that, because I trip over my words all the time. I sound like a bumbling idiot some days, but it's because I have trouble putting how I feel into words sometimes. That's why music's so great for me, because I'm able to find a song with the lyrics that feel the way I feel. And I feel like music is a universally understood language, if that makes sense. And so I think most of us understand the feelings in a song, right? So that's why music works. Crying with you today was a good cry, so thank you. Oh, you're welcome. I always try and, I just want to bring forward messages that help people heal. Like, that's really my mission at this point, is no matter what comes out, I hope that it's a tidbit of information or knowledge that helps you to grow or overcome an obstacle, or to help you have confirmation of something that you've been fearing or doubting or questioning, whatever medium that comes through, whether it's charms, tarot, mediumship, a song, whatever, that's always my goal, is that I want my messages to help heal whatever's going on. Because we're broken sometimes, but what is that saying? Broken crayons still color? And they do. So no matter what brokenness you're dealing with, I promise you there's still good to be had. There's still a silver lining. And I think that's kind of what Spirit shows me a lot, is it's like, as a whole, we've all been through something, right? We've all been through something. And if you haven't, your time is coming, because you won't get out of it unscathed. I promise you won't. Some of us get kind of an easier go round early in life, and it's harder the older we get, and vice versa. Sometimes early in life, we're dealt a lot of really shitty cards, and we have to overcome a lot early in life. But as a result, we can be there, and we can help other people, and we can mentor other people. And I will tell you, God, how many years has that been? So let's say about 21-ish years ago, I was going through a lot of really not so fun stuff in my life. And I remember breaking down and telling God one night, I was in a psych ward in a hospital on an involuntary hold for 72 hours. And I told God, if you're going to take everything I care about away from me, it better be for a really good reason. This better help somebody else in the long run. Or what was it all for, And I remember him telling me, the wait is going to be the hardest thing that you experience. You're going to overcome all this other pain in your life, all of the sadness, but the waiting is going to be the hardest thing for you. You're going to have to learn patience. And it wasn't a lie. The waiting was the absolute hardest part in all of that. But through all of that, God was the one constant in my life. The one thing that was constant, the one thing I could rely on when literally everything else in my life fell apart. That was the one constant. And so God secluded me many, many times in my lifetime to work on me. It took a lot of things away from me over the years that weren't good for me, but I didn't understand it at the time. It took a really long time to come to grips with that I was a big part of things that needed to change in my world. And so I tell people I'm nowhere near perfect. I'm a work in progress. And every day I just try and be a little bit better than I was the day before. And that's all I can do. I'm still flawed. I'm still human. And, I don't consider myself better than anyone else in the world. We're all going through something. So instead of trying to be part of the problem, I try and be part of the solution. And my mom used to always say that, be the change you want to see in the world. I want to see more love in the world. I want to see more happy people. I want to see more success for the little guy, the underdog. And so that's my mission, is to just help people. When I get my RV, you're my first stop. Oh, I love that. The sweetest person. I feel you through the phone. I love you, Tansy. You're so sweet. If you get an RV, you should come and visit. You absolutely should. Colorado's pretty cool in the summertime. There's a lot more stuff to see, a lot more things to do. You've healed many pieces of my soul. Your work is exhausting. It is some days, but you are truly changing lives. That is the goal, and that makes it all worth it. That's how I feel. Just want to help raise people up. Exactly. I hope they're happy tears, healing energy. Tears cleanse the soul, right? They get rid of all the yucky stuff. I've been on an emotional roller coaster the last few weeks too, so I don't know if you guys have also felt that way, but like just the energy as a whole. Like we went from Aries season where everything was really kind of like rigid and fast paced to Taurus season where it slows down a little bit. And then we're going into Gemini season. So we go from like fire to earth to air, right? And we're shifting all of this energy. And so a lot of these things that we're going through, it is like a roller coaster, right? It's like one day you might be fine, no worries, no anything, and then the bottom falls out and you're like, what the heck? You know, like what is happening here? It's just part of the process. My man's cousin in Colorado, he can have his guy time and I need girl time. There you go. There's lots of stuff to do here. I'm kind of a homebody most of the time when I'm not doing my other job, but there's lots of really pretty places that you could go. There's like tons of hiking trails and beautiful scenery and things like that. So it just depends on what you want to see. And short of water, I mean, we have like some lakes and streams, but you know, nothing like oceans or anything, but tons of really pretty mountain views. There's places like Garden of the Gods, Red Rocks Amphitheater, stuff like that. That's all natural. Creator made, not man-made stuff. And those are really unique. I always tell people if you've never been here, you have to see those two things because they're really unique. But it's a place that I've lived in for so long that I feel like I need a change. Like I need to go explore other places too. I always said if I had like an RV or something, I probably would take a road trip and go visit all 50 states because I've always wanted to. Something that I've always thought about doing. Energy's been wow right now. Yeah, all over the place, right? Like up, down, you know, circles, spit you back out. I definitely feel that lately too. I haven't lived here all my life. So originally I was born in Mississippi. I was a military brat. And so we lived between Mississippi and California for the first like 3.5, 4 years of my life. But both my parents' family lived in Colorado. And so when I was about 5, we moved back here. My parents were separated. They were going through a divorce. And my mom wanted to be close to her family, which all lived here. So I've been here since I was about 5 ever since. I've traveled a little bit, but had all my kids here. And so, you know, they're all grown. They've all got lives of their own. My last one that's still living here at home, he's getting ready to move out in like the next few weeks. So that's kind of a weird thing. Empty nester syndrome and all that stuff. But they all said, you know, if you did decide to move someplace, we'd come see you or whatever. You could fly back here and come visit us. It's just, again, Spirit's challenging me to make changes too, right? It's the hard thing of like, this is what's familiar. This is what I've known, but I have this internal urge to like take a leap and go someplace else. So maybe one of our older kids is taking a job change out of state. And so we're contemplating potentially moving out of state as well, which freaks me out because I don't want to leave all my kids behind, even though they're grown. But it's that whole mom thing of like, will they be okay? Are they gonna, you know, are they gonna fall on their face? Are they gonna need me? And they probably won't, but it's just that fear talking, right? So one of those things. I've been to California as an adult, and short of the traffic, I love being by the ocean, like the beaches and stuff like that. That's probably my favorite thing, and really good food, like certain places that have just amazing food. So those two things are my favorite about California. The beaches and the food, those two things. Hate the traffic. I hate the traffic in Colorado too. Like some days it's awful. So I didn't used to drive very much because I worked from home doing all this stuff. But my second job doing delivery orders and stuff drove all the time. So I'm trying to limit that to only a couple of days a week because it's wearing your girl out. It's just like not being in the car. That's fine. It's just all of the mental load, I guess, if that makes more sense. It's just all the thinking constantly. But the good thing is when I was on like long deliveries where I'd have to drive for several miles to get to the next destination, just being alone in my car, playing my favorite music and stuff like that really had helped kind of detox my brain from some of the stuff I was dealing with. So that was a plus, I guess. And making money, because that's kind of like my my motivator these days, because I want to earn a bunch of money so I can go do fun stuff, like, I don't know, take a road trip, go ghost hunting in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. I don't know, go explore the Stanley Hotel and stay there overnight. Like, if I have extra money, I have money that's not allocated already to like bills and bullshit, right? And I can actually do something fun with that. That motivates me to work harder. And then Spirit's like, no, we're going to take time off. Like, dang it, come on. So like, if I'm frustrated and I just am chomping at the bit and I want to go and do things, I'll burn myself out, and Spirit knows it. And so the last couple of months, they've been forcing me, when I'm too stubborn to listen to common sense, happens a lot, they force me to take a back seat and to like rest. And so maybe it's like yesterday, my shoulder was killing me so bad. It hurts so bad. I almost went to the doctor because I was like, I don't know why it hurts. It's just, it feels like it's on fire. And the dumbest thing in the world helped. Okay. So I was craving these garlic knots from this little pizza place nearby. That's it. I just wanted garlic knots. I didn't want anything else to eat yesterday. I just wanted garlic knots. So my boyfriend, he texted me when he was getting ready to leave and come home from work, and he's all, does anything sound good for dinner? Because he worked late and we needed to go grocery shopping, so there really wasn't much of anything here. And I said, garlic knots. He laughed at me and he was like, garlic knots? I was like, yeah, that's all I want. And he was like, okay. So he said, yeah, I'll get you some. And I looked it up why I was craving the garlic. Garlic is an anti-inflammatory. And so just eating some garlic helped my shoulder not hurt. I was like, see, your intuition knows what you're supposed to eat. So if you ever have weird cravings, there might be something more to it, that your body needs something out of it. So don't ignore that. Did Uber Eats delivery here, but now gas is so dumb. Yeah, dude, it's like almost $5 a gallon here right now for the cheap shit. And I drive a V8 pickup truck that's old. It's a 95 V8 pickup. And I literally, it's like, I can't afford the gas to go do this right now as much as I need money. So it took like $80 to fill up my gas tank the other day before it hit over $4 a gallon. And then, all the driving back and forth and everything, I blew through that $80 in like 2 days. And I was like, this is so stupid. Like, what am I doing? I can't afford to do this. I've got to start doing more readings because I can't afford to drive to make money. So yeah, I'm in the same boat. It's so stupid expensive now. So I'm going to limit it to like 2 days a week, like Friday and Saturday when it's actually busy. In the evenings, like 4 hours. And that's like the end of it for me. I'm like, that's it. I'm either going to make money or I'm not. And if I'm more busy doing readings, then I won't do that at all. I'll just do the readings. But like, this is my primary source of income, is doing the readings for people. And like, I'm sensitive to, I know the world is really expensive and all that stuff. And so I try and keep my prices, comfortable for everybody. Cause like, obviously I still have to keep the lights on and pay my phone and all that stuff. But I also don't want to price myself out of business. And I've seen some people where it's like, holy cow, who in the freaking world can afford, like, I saw one person was doing readings for like $350 for like 30 minutes. It was like, are you on something? Because like, that's insane to me. The average person isn't going to be able to do that, right? It's like, most of us don't have extra money or a ton in savings right now. We've blown through that because life's expensive. So that's why I started doing the $10 mini readings, because you can still get a ton of information in that. And most people could probably do $10 versus like $300 and something. Right? The groceries too. Yeah, no, I totally get it. Oh my God. A woman asked for $900 for an hour. That, I can't even fathom that. It's like, that's close to some people's mortgage, Oh man, God bless them. Like if somebody's paying that, if somebody can afford to pay that, go for it. It won't be this girl. It won't be me. I'll put it to you this way. Even if I was like world known or uber famous or something, I still like morally, I don't think I could feel comfortable charging those kind of prices for anything. I don't. Because I came from super humble beginnings as a kid. I didn't have anything growing up. We were dirt poor. Fucking my whole life growing up, we were dirt poor. And like, we're not high on the hog right now either. Like, we got a roof over our head, lights are on. We eat every day, but it's like we're not highfalutin or anything like that. And I don't want to be. I don't want to be. I want to be down to earth. I want to be relatable to my customers. I want to be just a person who's trying to help you, but not to the detriment of myself. Does that make sense? Like, I still want to help people, but I don't want it to be at my own personal expense. And it was for years. I fully admit it was for a long time, because I had to learn boundaries. And so that's part of what Spirit's been putting me through a lot of challenges here recently of like, you can't do everything for free. You can't work yourself into the ground. You can't, work until exhaustion. You can't do this anymore. And so me being stubborn, Spirit was like, if you don't want to listen, it's going to be really hard for you. Okay. And when you're out the other, right? All these years of listening to Spirit, I still challenge my Spirit team. I still you fight with, God sometimes. He always wins, but, me and my little human brain think that somehow I'm going to get one over on him sometimes. Never happens. But, God puts me in my place sometimes. He's like, listen, I warned you. This is the changes that have to happen for you to continue, or you're going to burn out. And then you're going to give up, and we can't have you give up because you got to do stuff. You signed a contract. You're here. You're obligated. You got to do this. So it is what it is. But yeah, I'm a stubborn old goat. She's so sweet. Thank you. I just got paid and saw you and said, let's go. Well, I love that worked out. All week, okay, so all week I had been like, oh, I should jump on and do a live. Oh, I should do that. And it's like Spirit wasn't ready for me to do it yet. I had all these other hurdles and challenges I had to accomplish first. And then when I finally was being an obedient child and doing what I was supposed to, get your homework done before you go out and play. Do this. Okay, so I got all the to-do lists knocked out, and Spirit's like, hey, good girl. Now you can get on. You can do what you need to do. So that's kind of how it works for me. Okay, Lysandra. Okay, tarot and mediumship. Perfect. Okay, and I see it there. Wonderful. Let me just clear that stuff out. So tarot and mediumship. Let me get some good shuffles. So readings are open. Hi, Beatrice. Good to see you. Thank you so much. So what does that say? Sharing personal stories about career and money. I love this AI thing on here. It's hilarious to me. It's like whatever we're talking about, it regurgitates it and puts it on the screen of what's going on. That's funny as shit to me. I don't know. I think it's funny. I swear I saw your videos last night and was like, Jenna, I miss you. I saw those. I think I saw them when I got up this morning. Because what was I doing last night? Did I post a bunch last night? I must have. You guys know, I don't even know what day it is half the time. I legit don't. And that's not like, oh, she's just a dingbat. I spend so much time just doing other things or, being in spirit energy to where our 3D reality time, I never know what's going on. I have to look at the calendar in my phone every day to know what day of the week it is. It's that bad. And it's been that way for a long time for me where it's like, I don't know what day it is. So my kids, my own flesh and blood, I feel so bad. I set reminders in my phone so I don't miss important things like birthdays, because I have been so overwhelmed with just too many things on my plate sometimes that I got real close to forgetting a few of those. And I don't ever want to do that, because the people that are in my world and important to me, I want to remember details. I want to remember if something's important to you, I want it to be important for me to know that. And so I'll tell you, in my life, there's been plenty of times where I felt like I wasn't seen, heard, or rememberable to anybody. And I mean that. I really, I was just, a blip on the screen. I was just a face in the crowd. I wasn't anybody that anybody would remember, right? And so I don't want people in my world to ever feel like that. I don't at all. I don't want people to ever feel like that. So I try extremely, extremely hard to make sure that if we've had a conversation, that I try and remember details, with one exception. If we haven't talked very many times, I'm not going to remember your name because I'm terrible with names. But I can promise you I will remember details of a conversation. I don't know why it works that way for my brain, but it's always been that way. When I used to cut hair in the salon, I might not remember your first name when I look at you. But if I see the back of your head and what I did, I can remember every detail about your haircut. I might remember details about a conversation we had 6 months or more ago. But your name might not stick for a few times. It's just the way that my brain works. For whatever reason, my brain doesn't think that your name is necessarily the important part I should remember. But I remember faces really, really well, and I do remember a lot of details. So, I don't know. It's just how my brain works. Yeah, I did post a lot of stuff last night. I want to say like 3 or 4 videos. I can't honestly remember. I posted a lot of shit yesterday, which is unusual because I had taken such a time off for a little while. I just, do you ever get to the point in life where it's like you just have so many demands on your time and you're just so mentally like exhausted with every little stupid little to-do list that you've got to do in a day that it's like you just don't want to take on one more thing. And so TikTok for me really wasn't growing for a long time. It was just like at a standstill, just stuck. No new followers, no engagement, no nothing. And I was like, okay, well then it's going to be to the wayside. So I deactivated my account for a little while, took some time off to regroup, was only posting 1 big message a week on YouTube. And I was just like, it's what it is. Let's go in a new direction. Let's see what we're doing. And you know what it made me realize? That I hated the other direction, that it wasn't where I wanted to be. I didn't want to spend 8+ hours a day driving around in my car, wasting gas and barely making any money. I wanted to use my gifts. I wanted to engage with people. I wanted there to be meaning in my life. And so here we are. But it's like, Spirit will show you things. They'll give you a reality check. They'll give you like, what is your priority? What do you really want to do? You want to indulge over here? Okay, do it. See what happens. Oh, you want to go back over here? Okay, do it. See what happens. And then Spirit gives us free will, right? So we get to see, what do you really want to do? What are you passionate about? What makes you happy? What makes you happy? And if it makes you happy, you should do that, considering if it's like good for you or not. If it's not good for you, don't do it. But if it's a healthy thing, do it, right? Like, it's kind of a no-brainer. It should be. Should be is the operative word. All right, Miss Lysandra, let's get to your reading before I get on another tangent. Just, slap the screen. Lady, focus. It happens sometimes. That really does happen sometimes. What do we got? Ooh, girl. What you got going on? You're starting with a tower moment. You're part of the collective that's going through this major change in your world right now. Oh, but you're going to be so happy with the end results. 3, 4, 5. Okay. It won't be all Care Bears and rainbows, but it will get there eventually. Okay. So towers don't have to be completely destructive and disruptive is what Spirit tells me, but they usually are. So what I will tell you is that a tower comes to shake things up. That's an interesting analogy. They're showing me what looks like I think it's a pecan tree. That's a real random one to come through. But what they're showing me, so there's this machine that they show me that goes to like collect the nuts, right? Because it'd be too hard to reach up and pull off every single nut off of a pecan tree. So they have this contraption, this machine that it goes and it clamps on and it shakes the living shit out of it until all of the fruit falls off the trees. And they collect it and they process it, yada, yada. Okay. What they're telling me with this is that sometimes we don't understand that the shakeup will actually help us to bear more fruit. I love Spirit. So this is going to make a lot more sense here in just a second. So what they're telling me is that this shakeup is actually going to help you see what you're made of, and what you are able to produce. And what that translates to is that you need to allow this change to happen. You need to allow this shakeup in your world to happen. You need to let doors close that are meant to close. You need to let doors open that are meant to open. You need to allow things to leave that aren't any good for you, that are meant to leave, so that new opportunities for happiness and abundance can come in its place, okay? So a tower is symbolic for major upheaval and drastic change. There's lightning that hits the tower, okay? There's flames that are coming out of it, okay? What comes to mind, and I'm not predicting this, but what comes to mind is like natural disasters, okay? And so I don't know where you live in the world, but I know certain parts of the world right now, it's like tornado season and stuff like that. So there might be some natural disasters in your area. I'm not saying that that's going to happen, but I do think that it could be a possibility. Doesn't mean that it's going to affect you directly in your home, but it could be like in your neighborhood, things like that. Sorry, I feel like there's something on my face. All right. The destruction leads to happiness. All right. So whatever this major change is that's going on for you, it leads to happiness. This could even be a new home. See how there's a home there in the background? Might be out on the countryside, really pretty setting for you. Partnership. I feel like if you're still healing and grieving the loss of your previous partnership, that might be a little bit of a stretch for you, right? However, what I do feel is that your previous partnership that's in spirit, I feel like she might be actually trying to bring in somebody not to replace her. Really important. That is exact wording. Not to replace her, but somebody that will help you get to the next level of happiness that you're supposed to be at in life. Whether this is a friendship or a partnership, there's going to be a sense of community. Children could definitely be in the mix. Adopting, raising stepchildren, deciding to have children of your own. Pets can also be children. So however that happens to pertain. But I do feel like they're giving me pain in the side of my throat for no reason whatsoever. Like right here, it would be just upwards of the thyroid in the throat on the right side. So that could be somehow significant. But what they're telling me is that there is this need for like the sun to come out after a storm, ironically. If we look here, there's storm clouds, right? There's thunder and lightning, all of that stuff, the destruction. And then look, the rainbow is the promise that things improve. I almost get the sense that when you lost your previous partnership, that was a very destructive force for you, but that there's somebody new that's coming into your life, again, friend or otherwise, that's going to be pivotal at helping you get your sunshine back in your life. There's lots of throat chakra stuff that's coming up, and I feel like you might have been dealing with things to do with the throat, needing to speak up, needing to express yourself, express feelings, choking back tears, choking back pain, almost like swallowing down all of those feelings and emotions. And Spirit's like, that's going to be a thing of the past. It's time to express how you feel. All of these feelings might be bubbling to the surface because something needs to change. And so they're telling me like the winds of change are upon you, that these wheels are in motion and that these things are going to change quickly for you, very quickly. So the Knight of Swords moves really quick. Okay, we're going to need courage. They said, speak your feelings even if your voice cracks. Really important. Finding your courage. This knight is really brave. This knight comes forward quickly. This knight takes action where it's warranted, but he has to be courageous to charge forward, okay? And so I do feel like Spirit is going to kind of point you in the right direction towards where in your life you need to make some of these changes. Some of it might be drastic. Some of it might be like, to other people on the outside, it might be like, what is she doing? What in the world is going on? Doesn't matter what other people think. You need to do what's best for you. I also feel like you've been in this, they're giving me the word funk or lack mentality. So the Four of Coins tells us that we're in this like worry about things, right? Usually it's worry about practical things like money or homes, things like that, tangible things, lots of hiccupy energy coming to the surface. So all of that might pertain, okay? So worries about things. And Spirit doesn't want you to worry. They want to alleviate that stress, that worry. So whether it's you're moving homes because you found a better deal someplace better that's maybe less money for more land and property, right? Something that might make you happier. I also feel like, again, what they're giving me is like natural disaster, and I'm not trying to put that out there, but that's literally what it's channeling. So let's just say, as an example, not that I'm predicting this, I want to be clear on that. If a natural disaster happened, it's unavoidable, right? It's something that you can't predict, where a storm's going to just, drop a tornado and level a building. Nobody knows how to do that. So we roll with the punches. Sometimes the change feels catastrophic while it's happening to us, but as an end result, all of a sudden we get something that's so much better in its place. So Spirit wants you to roll with the punches and go with the flow, because the change is actually going to lead to something that's better for you, okay, coming in. I also feel like you're still really dealing with grief, loss, mourning, heartbreak, pain, sadness, okay? And grief comes in waves. Also a storm, okay? And that's a storm that Spirit is trying to tell you that you are going to heal from all of this pain. I do feel like you have somebody that's going to come in and help heal your heart. And so this could be where Spirit wants you to take action, be open to new opportunities. Sometimes we really don't feel like we're ready. I didn't lose my ex-husband through death or dying. I lost him through divorce. And it was a really traumatic experience for me in my early 20s. And so I was unsure of the future. I knew I didn't want to date for a long period of time. So I took literally 2 years to work on myself after that. And I wouldn't date. Even if I was asked out, I would tell them, no, I'm not interested. I was working on me. And so I feel like the last, several months, especially, you really have been working on yourself. You have been making a lot of changes, whether you wanted to or not. I feel like Spirit just kind of put you like, nope, this is the time this is going to happen. And it's going to help you to heal. And then when we come out of this really painful period, we need rest, right? And so that has to be a priority. And then we know we need boundaries, because we're still hesitant to get hurt like that again. But they want you to know that this person is going to see you for who you are, and they're going to help heal a lot of the brokenness that came from this really tragic loss for you. So I feel like you have a lot of really big changes that are going to come through. Some of them you're not going to like initially, but it works out for you in the end. The 10 of Cups is like you're happily ever after. And so I feel like we all want to achieve that at some point in life. But are you willing to make changes in order to let that happiness in? So those might be some big changes for you. So we're doing mediumship as well. So energetically, I do feel like there is, they're showing me what looks like a graduation ceremony, and I'm seeing specifically the color bright yellow. So somebody's like cap and gown colors could have to do with bright yellow. You could be attending one. I do feel like this has to do with extended family for you. Could be like nieces and nephews, stepchildren, things like that. But I do feel like there's some sort of graduation. If it's not high school, college, even like elementary school into middle school is something that I'm seeing. Like there's some sort of ceremony. The other thing that they're showing me with that is that there's like a key point or a pivotal point in this graduation. And they said that it translates to more than just like you're graduating school onto the next thing. So it's not the end of something, it's the beginning of something new, right? We're just transitioning into the next step. So let's say Spirit shows me the graduation, right? So you might have completed something. Let's say it's high school. Okay, you complete high school, but it's just the first step in actually becoming an adult, right? And living life. And so what they're showing me with this is that while loss is extremely painful and it takes an extremely long time to overcome that, it's almost like Spirit has indulged you to the point where now they want to get you out of the sadness, and they want to bring in happiness in its place, right? Like to fill up your cup and have it be overflowing with joy instead of sadness. And so they're going to bring in something or someone that fills you up energetically to the point where Not that you ever forget that person because that person was so important to you and you loved them dearly, but that they want to give you something to give you that happiness back again, to experience love again, because it's a basic human need and we all need that in our life. So I do think that if you are currently unattached, that I think you are going to meet somebody by the end of the year that really, it could be like a long-standing commitment. Whether you get married to them or you're just in a committed relationship, it's going to be something that's extremely happy and fulfilling emotionally for you. See what else they want to give you. They're showing me a dog, so you could also have like a new addition as a pet coming in. Whatever this dog is, it's got longer ears that hang down. Could be a golden retriever. It does have like a yellowish red color to it that I'm picking up. Could even be like a brownish color, but I see a dog with long ears hanging down. Kind of a medium to a large size dog. Let's see. It looks kind of like a small farm or like a homestead to me. I see what looks like chicken coops, ducks. Could be like sheep or cows nearby this place. I feel like you're moving to like a country setting or like a rural setting is what it looks like to me. See lots of trees, lots of green grass. Spirit tells me you'd like to get out of the city if you currently live in the city, that you're contemplating a move, and that this might solidify it. This person might already live in a place that looks like that you meet. So you might move to where this person is to be closer to them. They're telling me that there is a fresh start. Like this is kind of like the beginning stage of all of this. I'm not positive how you meet this person just yet, if you haven't met them yet. I do think you could potentially meet somebody online, but I feel like you don't really want to. But I think you could. You might also meet this person very organically, just living life. I feel like the person that is coming in is visiting your area for whatever reason. Could be a graduation of all things. You know, why not? The color bright yellow is super significant coming through. That could be somebody's favorite color. Could be something that they're wearing. Again, it could be like graduation cap and gown because that's originally what they showed me. But bright yellow is very significant to this connection. And they're, what is that song, Spirit? What is the graduation song? Pomp and Circumstance, I think is what it's called. Like they're playing it in my head. Anyways, the song might somehow be significant too. I do get the sense that whoever this person is, you guys kind of like lock eyes across a crowd of people and it sparks a conversation if you meet organically. If you meet online, there's something to do with this person's eyes that kind of capture your attention. And so those two key elements plus the color bright yellow, I feel like are going to be important. So there's something to do with like graduation, completing a difficult cycle, really overcoming a lot of hardship, and some big changes coming for you that ultimately pan out that lead you to happiness, your happily ever after, connection, commitment, potentially for marriage in the future if you so choose. But a lot of like happier days ahead once you overcome all of these changes, like the finality of it and things. All right, let me get caught up with it. Your graduation cap and gown is burgundy and yellow. Come on, like a bright yellow. I don't have anything around here that looks like the color I'm thinking. It's like sunshine, right? Do I have yellow on my shirt? I do. Brighter than this yellow. A lot brighter than that yellow. It's not like muted. It's bright, really bright yellow. So graduation cap and gown is burgundy and yellow. I love that. So heartbroken my sister won't be there. Beginning my master's, girl. Graduating college next week. Congratulations on that. Holy cow, bright gold. See, I love that. It's like Spirit will show me things that there's no freaking possibility I could have known anything about. So that's amazing. Congratulations on all of your achievements. Holy cow. And then you're going for a master's degree in what? So curious. God bless you, because I can't do that much school anymore. You're welcome. That's a huge achievement. You make sure you pat yourself on the back and enjoy all that in social work. I love it. We need good people like that. We need people that want to help others. I do think that there's a lot of light workers and starseeds that are going to be like, they're telling me like put in place or called to action in certain areas to help like inflict change. They're almost showing me like a splinter, right? Like it's festering because we need to see big change. And so if we get enough of these little splinters out there, they're going to start to actually achieve the change that we need to see on a global scale, right? But it takes a lot of us to really affect that change. So that's amazing. I'm so excited for you. And you said your graduation is next week, so that's right around the corner. Love that. Okay. So, I mean, you might meet somebody really soon, but definitely by the end of this year, you're going to meet somebody. And I really feel like, you know, you hear those stories about, oh my gosh, we were in this crowded place and we like locked eyes across a crowd of people and that was all they wrote, right? I do feel like it's going to be something like that. There's just something intriguing about that person. Maybe it's their eye color, the way they're dressed, their laugh, their voice. There's something there that it's like, what is happening? Like, I'm thinking about this person all the time. I'm curious about them. Like, there's that initial chemistry or that initial spark. So don't be surprised if it happens. I think it will surprise you, but a lot of changes unfold as a result, right? And it does lead to positive changes. So I love that, regardless of how it comes out. All right. Did you have any questions for me? Before I disconnect, I need a drink. And major congratulations on earning a degree, because it takes a lot of time and dedication. The financials for why program have been wishy-washy. Financials. Okay, so like for the master's degree, let me see. They are telling me to explore grants. Okay, energetically, they're telling me explore grants, things you don't have to pay back. They're showing me what looks like gold coins. Somebody might actually gift you a scholarship, is what they're telling me with that. Huh, okay. Might cover the essentials that you need. Might cover it 100%. That's interesting. I'm getting chills on the back of my neck. I feel like somebody is gonna like, how do I word that? Somebody is gonna feel compelled to want to help people that are struggling to pay for like scholarships, college classes, things like that. There might be somebody that donates a significant amount of money to help cover things like that, but I'm seeing gold coins and then I'm seeing like a zero balance. So like something's being paid off or paid for. Come on. Come on. Ace of Pentacles, abundance. You're going to be fine. The money's going to come somehow or another, and it could be from a generous person. Good, really good. You won't have to juggle anymore. So I feel like Spirit's going to take that financial burden off your plate, and they're going to open doors for you, quite literally, with the Ace of Pentacles. You see the doorway there? So Spirit's going to open doors, especially if that's really where you're supposed to be. If that's your calling and you're supposed to be there, Spirit's going to move you where you need to be. Right? I'm telling you, it's like, that's why I moved the angle so you guys can see the cards as I'm pulling them. So you're not like, oh, she's just, no, you can see what I'm doing. Yeah, I mean, ask and you shall receive. Put it out there. This weekend's a new moon on Saturday, right? Saturday? Yeah, the 16th is a new moon. Manifest that shit, baby. Put it out there into the ethers. Write it on a piece of paper. Everything you need in present tense as if you already have it, okay? I would put something to the effect of all of my tuition, books, funds needed for my finalization of my degree are paid in full. No expense to me. Financial burdens are removed. God makes a way out of no way. Put it in there. Put it in there in your own handwriting, your own wording. I'm telling you, it will happen. You'll be amazed how quick Spirit moves things. I've been called to help others since I was in kindergarten. That's what I'm saying. Star seeds and light workers, like we have this calling on our heart to help the collective. We're all starting to come to the forefront of the line and be like, hi, we're here to help. You know, the cavalry has been called in. If y'all see me dancing nakedness, then y'all look away. Girl, me too. Not necessarily the nakedness part, but if I lived out in the middle of nowhere with no neighbors, it might happen on a full moon. I'm just kidding. Probably not. But no, I go out and I talk to Spirit in the middle of the night in my backyard, in my garden and stuff. I have like sometimes hours-long conversations with Spirit, you know, in my head, out loud, all of the above. I do all my manifestation stuff. I put it out in my garden. One of my favorite crystals broke the other night and like clean in half broke. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? Here goes for confirmation. And so I decided last night I would speak a blessing over the crystal, thanking it for its protection, thanking it for all the help energy-wise of what it's helped me do. And then I gave it back to Mother Earth where it came from. So it's in my flower beds. It's going to help my plants grow healthy and it's safe and protected. And so that was how I disposed of my broken crystal last night. But you know, I'm a little witchy, I'm a little woo-woo, so I don't judge anybody if they are. And if you're not, no harm, no foul either way. But that's how I roll. I try and give back to the planet, so I always plant a garden because, you know, we need bees, so we have food and everything. I plant a garden every year. Some of it's flowers, some of it's food, like veggies and fruits and stuff like that. I do that every year. And I love to go dig in the dirt and be barefoot and play in the water and all that good stuff. So that's how I connect with God the most, is I go out there and connect with nature. And it helps me to feel more connected to God. Because to me, nature is created by God and it's all around us. So it's not like this imaginary friend. It's literally everywhere. Touch a tree, talk to it. It's a sentient being. Put your feet on the grass, you know, all those things. I had a little bee, come land on the grill last weekend. Not on the grill, but like on the side of the grill. And I hadn't planted my garden just yet. And so I was telling it, I was like, I'm so sorry, I'm behind schedule. It was cold. We got a late snow, so I hadn't planted yet. And I said, give me a little bit of time. I'm going to get your flowers out there so you have food. I'll get your water fountain going so you have water. Just be patient. Give me a little more time and I'll get your yard all situated for you. And it just sat there like it was listening to me. I could see its little antennas, you know, moving around and everything. And I'm allergic to bees, like pretty bad. Like my airway starts to close and all of that stuff. But I've learned that if I go out and I talk to them and I'm gentle, they don't harm me. They don't touch me at all. They might buzz around me, but they don't ever try and hurt me. And I had one in my driveway the other day and it looked like it was in distress. So there was a small little twig next to it. I scooped it up on there and it grabbed a hold of it. And I put it in with some plants that were already starting to grow. And I said, I hope you're okay. I'll put you over here and you take a rest if you need to or whatever. And I'll check on you. And when I went back, it was gone. So I try really hard not to harm nature at this point. Not that I'm like a super granola tree hugger goofball or whatever. But like, this is the only planet that we have to call home. And so I try and give back as much as possible by planting more things that are from Earth, you know, that need a home. And so I try and do that every year. You know, just try not to like harm things if at all possible. Spiders are another story. If black widows and things are in my house, I'm sorry, those are going to die because I'm not playing with those. Those could be dangerous. But other than that, if it's something that's like not harmful, I scoop it up if at all possible and relocate it back outside. So that's that. But yeah, nature helps me to recover. So I try and spend time in nature if at all possible. The bees attack me and butterflies all of a sudden now. I know it's nature, but they literally attack. So bees, can be territorial, I've found out, but they have a really good memory. So if you do like feed them or give them water, they remember that and they won't be as hostile towards you. I just talk to them like I do a person. I'm like, hi, I'm just out here feeding you. Hi, I'm watering you. I'm changing your water. Here's some flowers. I hope you enjoy those, whatever. And they leave me alone. They're not hostile towards me. They don't dive bomb me like they used to, but yeah, they used to all the time. Last year, I was out watering the garden and I heard this buzzing noise. I thought it was a bee. I turned and looked and it was a hummingbird and it was hovering like right in front of me. And I was like, what the heck? What's going on? Like it startled me. And it stayed there for a few seconds just looking at me. And I was like, oh my gosh, hi, what are you doing? And I was so excited. And so I told him, I was like, I'll come out every day and I'll change your water. I'll make sure you guys have flowers to eat and all that stuff. And so I get a lot of visitors in my yard because I do those things. And word spreads, animals talk. Birds, definitely. Like we have an owl that will randomly come. We have like a power pole out in our backyard, and we have a giant tree out next to it. And there was an owl out there one night, and it startled me. I was like, oh boy, okay. Hawks. We have let's see what else. Crows for sure. All the little birds like finches and things like that. I try and talk to them. I say hello. They absolutely remember stuff. And if you're kind to them, they're kind to you. They'll protect your yard. They'll protect your home. If you treat animals like crap, I promise you're going to have problems. They don't take too kindly to that. So I just try and be gentle to living creatures. Baby bats. Those are cute. I think baby bats are cute. And owls are really cool. I used to see owls all the time many years ago. And hadn't for a very long time until a couple summers ago. I was out late at night and there was something on top of the power pole and I was like, what in the heck is that? And then you know how they flip their head around backwards and I was like, oh, that's an owl. Oh no. My dogs were outside. I was a little nervous that it might try and like swoop on them or something, but it didn't. It flew a totally different direction. It hooted at me a couple of times and dipped. I was like, okay, that's cool. You could do that. That's not a problem. But nature's pretty neat. I love nature. I spend evenings out there a lot, I feel like. Not during the day, because my neighbors all have dogs that are obnoxious, and my dogs are really reactive. And so it's not peaceful when all the dogs are outside. So I like to go out when everybody else is asleep and enjoy the quiet, like hearing the crickets chirp and, cicadas when it's that time of year, and just enjoy the quiet. And it helps me like reset my nervous system and my brain to not be so running the hamster wheel, crazy, the overthinking, all that stuff. So that's how I clear my energy and calm down and all that good stuff. Works for me. Might not work for everybody, but you should try it at least once in your life. All right. Did I miss anybody that bought a reading? Just want to make sure we didn't miss anybody. I think there's only a couple of you left. So thanks for hanging out. I think we've been live for several hours at this point. I think it's what we all needed. I needed it. I needed to clear all that energy. I feel so much better now. So much better. Less chaos going on in the brain. It's almost like when you do a workout, right? You go to the gym and you complete all your reps and all that stuff, and then you get like that muscle fatigue, that burn, and you're like, oh yeah, I feel great, right? That's how I feel after I read for a while. You are so welcome. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you guys. Good to see you too. I'll be on here more often than I had been. Probably like at least once a week, maybe more. We'll see how that goes, but it's going to be random times. So make sure if you guys want to join, you have your notifications on, and then it'll tell you when I'm live. Always make me feel so calm. Oh, I love that. Come on more. I'm always here for you too. I love that. I'm going to do my best because I'd much rather do this than go waste gas and drive around and deliver food. So I'd rather do this. So you guys will probably see me more often over here. I do lives over on YouTube too. So if you aren't following me over there and you want to catch a live over there, we do similar things. So whichever works for you guys. But I love you guys. Thank you all so much for being here. If I did miss anybody and you're still here, just email me and I'll do a reading for you. No worries there. No wasting gas. Yeah, exactly. It's too damn expensive. It's like, if all I have to do is you know, my stuff, my energetic stuff, that's way cheaper than it is for me to go out and drive my truck all over town. So we're going to try this instead. Love you guys. We'll see you next time. I hope you have a great rest of your week.